We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a lot of news for you tonight. There are some massive changes that just happened today, including the blockade being reinstated, which signals the end of the MOU. A lot of the regime supporters, I brought you allegrams from the group chats that the regime supporters are in and talking. There's some good ones over there. Explosions are once again pounding the southern coast of the Islamic Republic of Iran. As we speak right now, the strikes just began as per their usual. When we go live, they seem to start right then. The Persian Gulf Arab countries are joining in, and it is clear that they've joined in these past few nights because missile launches are being seen from Bahrain going towards the Islamic Republic. In addition, the city of Mashhad, which is northeast of Iran, just had its anti-air defense activated 3 times in a row in the span of 15 minutes. Seems like they may have spotted something. We don't know. But also, they just got hit with a 3.6 magnitude earthquake out of nowhere. Maybe that spooked the anti-air defense gunmen to start firing. But as of right now, we have many statements coming out from Donald Trump, including him addressing the nation this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, and that these calling the Islamic Republic leaders scum and crazies and lunatics, and that it's over. The MOU was a test. They failed the test. We're going to hit them super hard tonight and tomorrow night. So we're going to get into all of that, as well as the Houthis actually launching an all-out attack on Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, and hitting the airport really hard there. So we're going to get into all of that, along with some dissenting IRGC soldiers on the southern coast who are facing some pressure. And we will start with the statements from Donald Trump. So that's where we go to Washington, D.C. today. Let's begin with this one. So Trump has said that we will strike the Islamic Republic very hard tonight and tomorrow night. And then he went on, I think, Hugh Hewitt's show on Fox News and had some statements come out. So let's go and listen to those right now.
What nobody knows, we had a deal. It was a done deal. And then they broke it. They always break it. We've had 10 deals with these people. And so we're just going to hit them very hard. And we're gonna keep the strait, and we'll probably run it. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait. And we should be reimbursed for that. When we do that, we're going to be reimbursed because the other nations are very wealthy. They're on our side. And we can't be expected to do that for nothing, unlike we had for many years. You know, we guarded the strait for 50 years more, and we never got paid for it. They made all the money, and the United States was just, they wouldn't. It's amazing.
The United States will become the guardian of the strait. Did you hear that today, Armin?
Yeah. And he's gonna collect. The blockade is back, and he says they're gonna collect 20%.
Correct.
This was earlier before the Hugh Hewitt show. Even before yeah. I do have the full interview that happened with Hugh. Do you want to listen to that? Because that goes into a lot more detail, and it's 16 minutes. I could probably the full interview. Should we do that?
I think let's view some clips and get the news out first, and then I would actually really like to come back to the interview.
Okay.
Just so people feel like they get the breaking news first.
Sounds good.
20%. So ships now, if they're passing by and they're using the American side of the strait, they're going to have to factor in a 20% rise in cost of business. What's better, 20% rise or paying a toll? Yeah. Also, we don't know if that's actually going to happen. You're right.
Yeah. That doesn't, that at least it doesn't sound like, it just sounds like one of those other President Trump mind games. 20%, you don't do 20%. Like 20% is crazy high.
It is very high. He also talked about Mojtaba Khamenei. There's a 20-second clip about that. Do you want to hear what he said?
Yeah, before we do that, Arakchi actually came out and said something. Go here.
Oh, yeah.
About the 20%. So Arakchi sees this as what President Trump said, as a confirmation that then you can collect tolls then. So Arakchi, the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic, responded to President Trump saying that they're going to collect 20% tolls, saying POTUS is absolutely right. This is the first time Arochi is saying that. POTUS is absolutely right.
You're absolutely
Whoever
right.
provides, yeah, he's saying whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for the service. So basically, Arakshi is considering what President Trump's saying as basically the acceptance that it's okay to collect service fees in the Strait of Hormuz. So basically saying like what President Trump said, that means that we have now made that an acceptable thing if President Trump is saying that they're going to do it. And then he continues by saying Iran has always been the guardian of the strait. Oh my God, there he's using President Trump's language. So Iran has always been the guardian of the strait and will remain so forever. 20% is, of course, too much. We will be fair. So Arakchi is using this opportunity as a way to say that, yeah, sure, whoever provides service. You know what's crazy about this, Ali? So this kind of looks like a clever comeback, right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, yeah, okay, we will. But here's the part, okay. Whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels. You're the reason why people need to provide safety. This is extortion. Okay, so this is kind of clever the way this language over here, like, oh yeah, we could provide safety and we will charge less than the Americans, much less than 20%. But you're the reason why anybody would require services for safety. You're not providing safety. You're just providing. You're just charging people not to hit them. If you're not hitting people, safety and security from who? From whom? Like who's? Like what is the danger? You're the danger. You're the danger that people need safety from. Anyways.
So guys, we've said that so many times. The IRGC created unrest, created danger, and then they're charging for the solution to that danger, which is themselves. That's definitely a mafia type operation there. Let's see what Donald Trump just said about Mojtaba Khamenei, the current supreme leader.
They got nothing. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. It's all gone. Their anti-aircraft is gone. Their leaders have all been killed. Best leaders have been killed. They're gone. Khomeini is gone. The sun is 90% gone. And the New York Times writes an article. They're doing better today. Oh, and they have inflation. It's 350%. They got nothing. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. It's all gone. They're anti-air.
So Mojtaba is 90% gone, according to Donald Trump. I think it's probably closer to 99% gone. We haven't heard or seen anything from him.
So that could have two different meanings. And guys in the chat, let me know which one do you think President Trump is meaning. President Trump is saying Mojtaba is 90% gone. Does that mean that there's a 90% chance that he's dead? Or does that mean that 90% of him is gone and only 10% of him is remaining? Which one do you think is more likely that President Trump is saying? The 90% chance that he's dead, or which one? Both?
People are saying play it again. Let's see.
Okay, play it again.
Aircraft is gone. Their leaders have all been killed. Their best leaders have been killed. They're gone. Khomeini is gone. The sun is 90% gone. And the New York Times writes an article.
The sun is 90% gone.
So 90% chance that he's dead? Or remember, President Trump has access to intelligence that we don't. So, only his head remains. Yeah, I mean, I think he might be saying 90% chance he's dead, because how could you? I mean, if you are 10% only, like which, like how could you? How could only 10% of you be left?
Life support for sure.
Life support.
So quick update. We have explosions on an area that doesn't really get bombarded much. So actually Quiche Island, which is kind of like the Hawaii of Iran, it's a tourist island, is now being bombarded multiple times. In terms of the intensity of the strikes, it seems like Sirik, so I'll show this on the map for you guys. Sirik, which is right here, this is what we call Sirik. It's a little bit elevated, and you can shoot missiles down onto the narrowest point of the Strait of Hormuz with no problem. Got hit 25 times in the matter of seconds, which is That's unprecedented. I wonder how much is left in Syria at this point. It's been bombarded for 4 months now, all the time. And we also have confirmed ballistic missile launch from Shiraz. Okay. So it looks like the response of the IRGC is already underway.
I lived in Shiraz for 7 years, and my mom is Shirazi. Was Shirazi.
I see. Yeah, that's where Kaku comes from,
My
right?
childhood. It's my childhood.
All right. So, yeah, Quiche is currently being bombarded. Okay, so guys, this pretty much what we've seen so far. It does seem like the strikes just began, but just as of now, it seems like that the south coast of Iran is going to be bombarded yet again extensively for the next 5 or 6 hours, signaling two things. Last night, we had extensive bombardment in this area, which is the land route from Iraq into Iran, one of the places that you could possibly invade with ground troops. The only other place you can invade with ground troops is along the southern coast of Iran. Both of these places have been subject to bombardment for a couple of weeks now, with the intensity picking up this week. Here's the thing. We started hitting air bases in particular. So Desful last night and Andimishk was bombarded extensively by, I think it was B-2 bombers, actually, because the explosions were from bunker busters, and there was an underground base here in between these two cities of Desful and Andimishk, which also hosts a IRGC air base. So they were bombarding this area, and if they're hitting these missile sites, these missile cities underground, plus the air base, it's signaling one thing to me. Let's go back to the map. That place is more inland in Iran. They've been striking more inland recently, not just along the coast. Signaling, and if you're hitting the air defenses more inland, it signals that you're preparing for a more extensive aerial operation. My question is this, though. So Trump is announcing these strikes, and it seems to me that there's a couple of options here. He might want to draw the Islamic Republic back to the negotiating table, but it's a question, and he bombs them for another week or two, eliminates some of the leadership, then draws them back to the negotiating table. We've seen this before. That's one option. But it's a question of who he wants to come to the negotiating table. Does he want Ghalibaf, the current most powerful man, to eliminate his opponents? So is Trump going to come in and take out Vahidi and the IRGC commanders opposing Ghalibaf? Or does he want the opposing commanders to take out Ghalibaf? Who does he want to come negotiate with him who will finally say yes to the nuclear talks? Does such a person exist? Or, so if you want someone to cause internal chaos, someone to take Ghalibaf's place, who can have enough power, that's really something that we've discussed. I don't know who that could possibly be. There's not really a person like that existing. Even Ghalibaf himself doesn't seem to be able to conduct the nuclear talks at the moment. But it also could signal that we're preparing the southern coast for a potential ground invasion to come and hit and move different targets to actually guarantee the control of the Strait of Hormuz and ensure that during the midterms, nothing bad could happen. Do you have any thoughts on that, actually?
Yeah, I heard so many people are saying that the Americans, one way or another, have to go for the pickaxe enrichment uranium facilities as well. And that one is called Kukolang in Persian. So guys, remember during Operation Midnight Pickaxe Mountain, there were 3 sites that the Islamic Republic was enriching uranium in, right? Natanz, Fordo, and the Esfahan nuclear enrichment facilities. They were all the B-2 bombers came and they used bunker busters, and they were all destroyed. However, there's a 4th place, which is Kukolang or Pickaxe Mountain. That one is a newer facility that is so much more deep in the ground and much harder to reach with bunker busters. And some people's analysis on military experts analysis the only way to do that, the only way you can get to that is with either tactical nuclear bombs or ground invasion. And given that tactical nuclear bombs are, this is what Guy was discussing in our group call, given that tactical nuclear bombs are not an option by the Americans, his analysis was that there's going to be a ground invasion at some point. Not sure when, but at some point there will be a ground invasion.
Yeah, I also agreed with the ground operation. It's more of a matter of when that happens. Is it before or after the midterms? Physically, on a pure physics level, it makes sense to do it after the midterms because the weather down there will be much cooler. Right now, it's like 120 degrees, which makes it quite difficult to stage something, but not undoable. Absolutely not undoable. And let's actually get caught up real quick. So the ballistic missiles from the Islamic Republic have been launched at the moment, and they are traveling towards the Gulf countries. Let's actually show you guys last night. So if we go to the map, last night, Bahrain got particularly shaken up. People were worried that their country in Bahrain would get wiped off the map, but in particular, the Fifth Fleet of the U.S. Navy was struck directly and has been on fire for about 24 hours now, actually. The extent of damage is unknown. Kuwait was also taking hits again. So the north of Kuwait, where the HIMAR missiles, the U.S. Army has HIMAR missiles there, that's been hit. And the launches from that area actually haven't been happening tonight. So we don't know if there has been sustained damage, but we do know that Bahrain has launched some missiles, probably from an American base, towards the Islamic Republic as of now. The Persian Gulf Arab countries are, looks like, in on it fully at this point. Is Telegram completely down? I'm not sure why. But anyway, CENTCOM once again has said, just like last night, these strikes today are just going to impose a heavy cost and degrade the ability of the IRGC to attack commercial shipping. Did that stop them? No. They attacked more commercial shipping today. I think it was actually, they attacked 2 ships. I don't think they were hit. We don't have any confirmation on that, but they did attack them. And they are paying for it at the moment. I'm trying to show you guys images of Quiche Island right now being hit along the port facilities, but we have a far more interesting clip for you guys. We have something that's never been done before. So if we go to this map, in terms of military warfare, this has never happened before. So let's go into the Strait of Hormuz. Let's go into Bandar Abbas, and let's go into the IRGC's naval base, which you guys can see right here. Now, along the right side, on one of the piers, something that has never happened before just happened. Let's take a look at what it is. What is this, guys? Anyone tell me? What is that? What is that little thing? Is that a boat? What could it possibly be?
Is that a water drone? Oh my God.
This is a naval drone. Ooh. This naval drone from the United States military just quite literally floated in to Bandar Abbas's Navy port in the early hours of today's morning, and went straight up to this submarine that's being posted right there. So get a little bit closer, maybe. Yeah, okay, so there it is. So you guys can see that's a submarine, the little tiny submarines that the IRGC has, and went straight up to it. It just walked in, went up to it, and boom. So I need to see more of this. Not only more of these naval drones, but why not just use one-way attack drones the same way that the IRGC uses? The cost is infinitely lower, especially because the United States has a Lucas variant of the Shahed drone. They took the Shahed drone, reverse engineered it, called it the Lucas, and it's half the price. why not use that? It's not like the IRGC can send up missile interceptors and block the drones. Or are we saving them for an all-out attack? I'm not sure. But I, for one, would be a much bigger proponent of something like that happening. So again, I'll zoom in a little bit here. You guys can see that submarine's just sitting there. I don't know how much of a threat that submarine would have been in the first place, given that I don't know if I could fit in that personally, but it did it.
Wow. That is beautiful. What a beautiful shot. How clear it is. We used to only get like, I don't know, very like bad quality, far away videos of these things. Now we get to watch all of this in HD. One more time. This was too beautiful. Just one more. I promise.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
It's just floating in. Look how it's just like really drifting in. No one stopped it. No one even thought. They probably just thought it was a small boat, you know? And it goes right up to it. And boom. You can actually see pretty much went right into the pier there, right under that submarine. Even if it didn't destroy the submarine, that pier under it is destroyed anyway. I'm not sure how they're going to get it out. But yeah, amazing. And it's a pretty large explosion, if we're being honest, as well, which makes sense. You can put a bigger amount of explosives on that.
Yeah. So, this is a taste of their own medicine. They keep sending drones everywhere. And now you get drones coming at you.
So in addition to Bahrain's U.S. base getting hit, the Kuwaiti base, the U.S. base, is also actively in flames at the moment. It's been going on since this morning, and it's pretty large, actually. This fire is very large. So again, Bahrain base hit directly, Kuwaiti base hit directly, Qatari base got hit directly a couple of days ago. The Jordanian U.S. base also got hit directly. So the IRGC are scoring hits. It's more of a question of how much damage have they been inflicting.
You know, here's a prediction. At some point, all of these Arab countries will just have Ukrainians, not just American bases there. They will have Ukrainian base of operations in Bahrain, in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, and this entire southern Iran will be filled with Ukrainian, not just drones, but soldiers operating the drones going at the Islamic Republic. I think, you know, you're going to see something way more advanced and smaller and more deadly than Shahed drones coming from all the Arab countries in southern Iran by the Ukrainians at the Islamic Republic at some point. This might happen. What do you, Ali, what do you think? At some point, we're going to see defense drones taking out Shahed drones in all of southern Iran, southern Persian Gulf, because of these Arab countries are finally using their money to pay the Ukrainians to come defend them instead of, I don't know, building the line or Neom or whatever BS project that they're involved in. Then they're going to finally, you know, invest in their own stability. And given that they suck at doing it themselves, to get the Ukrainians to just every single one of these countries is going to throw billions of dollars at Ukrainians for defense drones, taking out Shahed drones and missiles. And also, not only that, they make their own offensive drones going at the Islamic Republic. Especially, I bet you these Arab countries are watching what Ukraine is doing to Russia right now, and they're like, we need that here. We need, you know, because they're close. I think the Islamic Republic at some point, not only they can't beat the Americans, not only they can't beat Israelis, they keep going at these Arab countries because they're vulnerable and weak and they don't know how to defend themselves. At some point, I think the Islamic Republic is going to even find these Arab countries to turn into a nightmare against them. Like, because they keep hitting the weak, because they can't actually, they can't bully strong countries like United States and Israel. So yeah, they keep going after these Arab countries. At some point, these Arab countries are going to just throw billions of dollars into Ukrainian drones, and it's going to turn into the greatest nightmare of the Islamic Republic. You're going to have drone swarms coming from the south to targets within Iran of the Islamic Republic. That's I know they're already investing in that, but at some point we're going to see it. Right now, we're not seeing it. So right now, it has not happened. It's not already happening. None of this. I'm talking about swarms of drones coming from the south to Iran from the Arab countries at some point.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility in the future for the Persian Gulf Arab countries to go on the offensive with those drones. The only pushback I have on that is that they do seem to be pretty they're pretty much cowards in terms of when it comes to standing up against the Islamic Republic. They have been focusing on defense, however, and they have hired Ukrainians for the past few months. They've came and installed a variety of anti-drone techniques and sensors and equipment. Has it been working out? I'm not so sure. They do seem to be defending better against drones, but not against ballistic missiles.
Yeah, but this is just the beginning. I'm not talking about just defensive. I'm saying like at some point the Islamic. Yeah, later, I know they're cowards, but at some they're trying everything else. But at some point they're going to get forced. They're going to try appeasement, and it's not going to work. Appeasement is not going to work. Every time they keep trying to buy the Islamic Republic out or appease or whatever, but the Islamic Republic keeps hitting them. At some point, even these Arab countries are going to try every other method other than the correct method, and once they try everything else, eventually they're going to get forced to go on the offensive. And when that happens, I think they're already investing in that for them to have that ready at some point. I mean, they are hitting the Islamic Republic with missiles here and there, but not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the type of attack Ukraine is right now doing against Russia. That's what I want to see from the Arab countries against the Islamic Republic at some point. No, guys, Kuwait didn't. Kuwait, you guys are talking about missiles. I'm talking about drone swarms, like just drones all over Iran coming from these Arab countries, Ukrainian drones, like all over the sky. Just watching the sky go black with drones, like something like that.
Yeah. Also, when you guys say Kuwait attacked, it's not actually Kuwait. It's the U.S. in Kuwait. It's not the actual countries themselves. Also,
the only countries that attack is the UAE. And Bahrain didn't Bahrain attack? Saudi Arabia didn't attack, but it was prearranged with the Islamic Republic. But I think it hasn't been confirmed. But Bahrain also attacked, I think.
Yeah, so Bahrain is actually unclear whether it's Bahrain attacking or if it's the U.S. 5th Navy Fleet here in Bahrain. That's a question we have to answer. Bahrain hasn't come out and said anything.
Well, because when that attack happened, both United States and Israel said it wasn't us. So people were basically thinking, like, who is it then? Is it Bahrain? Remember that attack a couple of nights ago?
Yeah. True. Could be Bahrain, could be Kuwait, could be UAE. Interestingly enough, Qatar last night was also facing interceptions. So was Abu Dhabi and Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The UAE has significantly ramped up its defenses and actually hasn't been getting hits on it lately, but Kuwait and Bahrain are the focus of the IRGC at the moment, and they're getting pounded. Earlier today in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, we actually also saw explosions in the north part of Riyadh. There's an airbase here. It's like King Khalid. This airbase has been hit multiple times, directly on the runway, the terminals. That happened today, and I actually don't know why I moved the pin all the way down here to Abha, because this city also got hit, and it's the Houthis. It's actually not the IRGC. The Houthis have launched an all-out attack using their best missiles. The Houthis have IRGC missiles. Their IQ is very low. They are using the best IRGC missiles they have to literally just hit pavement at an airport in Saudi Arabia. That's their, I don't know. I'm not sure they're so great at military planning here, but if I was the commander, I probably wouldn't be using my best stuff on the most pointless, useless thing to hit, which is the capital of Saudi Arabia's airport. But we can see that Saudi Arabia has launched interceptor missiles to try and get rid of them. It's unclear how many hits Saudi has taken, but they have taken many. They have taken many. Again, so these are the best missiles that the Houthis have. They're meant to be very stealthy and very fast. They kind of wasted them, in my opinion. Unless they got a ton more. Who knows? And in response...
Did you see the earlier attacks? Oh, in response. Okay, go on.
Yeah, and then in response, Saudi Arabia... actually, it's unclear. Saudi's like, hey, you hit us first, and the Houthis are like, you hit us first.
The order is the other way around. So Saudi Arabia hit Sana'a airport, and that was not because of an attack. That was because the Islamic Republic was sending a plane. So before you play that, yes, Mahan plane. Mahan is IRGC's airline, right? So the Houthi delegation was leaving Iran to Yemen from the funeral, okay, and they were coming to Yemen, and apparently the Saudis and the official government of Yemen in the south were saying that that plane carries other stuff in it. They carries other stuff in it. So pause that, because I wanted people to know, because I don't want people to miss the most important part of this. Yes. And what they did is that while the plane was coming to Sana'a, they basically just bombed the airport so the plane could not land. But then the plane went somewhere else in it went to Hodeidah. So it landed anyway. So that means that the Houthis probably are going to get whatever is in that, because Sana'a is, they had this airport in Sana'a in Yemen. Hodeidah has another airport in Yemen. So it landed anyways, but the Saudis were bombing the airport so that plane could not land because it carried, I think they should have just hit the plane, honestly.
They should have just hit the plane.
So yes, so the attacks that you're seeing from the Houthis on Riyadh are in response to this attack that you're going to play for us here. So go from the beginning and play it. And there's a section of this video that is very beautiful because you could actually see the missile. So play it.
Look at it. It's right there, the explosions. So yeah, Armin's exactly
no,
right.
Audio. Give us audio. Go to
في هذه اللحظات مشاهدينا الكرام كما تشاهدون غارات جوية عدوانية على مطار صنعاء الدولي إلى حد الآن بغارتين استهدفت مدرج الهبوط والإقلاع هنا كما تشاهدون. الآن غارات عدوانية متواصلة. شوفوا أربع غارات.
It's coming. The beautiful. This is the You saw that? Shh. You could actually see the missile there. Ooh.
There it is.
There it is. So the government, the official. So guys, in Yemen we have multiple governments. The Houthis claim that they're the government of Yemen, but there is an internationally recognized government, and that is backed by Saudi Arabia. They're saying that we did this. Okay, but it's hard to believe that because they don't have this capability. So everybody thinks that that's a lie. Saudi did this. And that's why the Houthis are now responding to Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. By the way, Ali, this is a major escalation because Saudi Arabia was playing it conservatively until recently. They were playing it so conservatively that the Islamic Republic was not even hitting them. And Saudi Arabia was not even included in the revenge list. In all of the revenge lists, they had like UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, but they didn't include Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia was really trying to stay out of all of this. But now they're bombing the Houthis. If this is them, that means that they're now entering the game, and they have to. Do you know why this is now escalating in Yemen? My theory is because that plane that was coming to Yemen, that was the Islamic Republic's aid to the Houthis to start closing Bab al-Mandab. Bab al-Mandab, I mean, if you want to go to your map for people to show, that would be devastating. So the Islamic Republic is now trying to put pressure on President Trump and the global economy by not just closing the Strait of Hormuz, but also closing Bab al-Mandab. And Saudi Arabia cannot allow that because Saudi Arabia is trying to get around through all of this chaos and the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz by using the East-West pipeline to get oil out of the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea so that they could bring it down from the Bab al-Mandab. And now if the Islamic Republic wants to arm the Houthis and support the Houthis to close the Bab al-Mandab, then that would be devastating for Saudi Arabia. So the Saudis cannot afford to be conservative anymore. Does that make sense?
I think you just took the words out of my mouth. Absolutely. So that plane was carrying something that Saudi Arabia could not have let get into the Houthis' hands. It still got into the Houthis' hands because they just landed So, sorry, wait, I'm trying to find it. Oh my God. Okay. So Sana'a, it was going to land in Sana'a, then it landed here. So the Houthis are still going to get it. It's actually more Houthi territory. And you're right. They got something. They got directions. So if you guys remember back to last week, during the funeral, we told you that the Houthis and Hezbollah and all of the other proxies that showed up at Ali Khamenei's funeral got some orders. We don't know what those orders were, but it does turn out they got some promises. And so the Houthis have been bumped up on the priority list in terms of the IRGC proxies because of their power to close the Bab el-Mandeb right here. This is the cargo ship passage of the world. Why, you may ask? It's because if you didn't have that strait, and if you didn't have this canal, the Suez Canal, you'd have to go all the way around Africa, which makes shipping generally 10 times more expensive. So Armin is exactly right. Everyone's pointing fingers, but everyone knows in their hearts that it's really between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia here. Saudi threatened, hey, IRGC, if you're going to land a plane, if the Houthis are going to come back in your plane, we might kill them. We might hit that plane and blow it up out of the sky. Looks like they weren't capable of doing that. They tried to get the airport. That's just like a very ineffective strategy in my opinion. But hey, that's major escalation. Hasn't happened before, and I think it's going to continue. Do you think it's going to continue?
Yes, because we just got a statement from President Trump saying they're going to attack tonight. Major attack tonight. Look at this. So yes, it's going to continue. And well, look at. I mean, that is going to. I don't. Yeah, that is going to continue. But look at this. This just came out.
It was all done, and then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like, and they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capabilities.
So as the audio is a bit low, he's saying we're going to go forward with attacking them tonight.
We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing. And what they're doing is being very foolish, very stupid, and they've treated people horribly. They've killed 52,000 protesters so far that we can determine.
Perhaps more.
It might be more than that, but 52,000 protesters have been killed, and it's really a terrible situation. But we'll have it was all done.
So yeah, the idea is very low, but let me just tell you here, I could read it. Say the caption says, "Wow, President Trump announces he's done with Iran. The attacks are back on. Missiles are being launched, and America will control the Strait of Hormuz." This is the direct quote from President Trump. They're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight, and we're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing. And what they're doing is being very foolish and it's saying very stupid. And they've treated people horribly. They've killed 52,000 protesters so far that we can determine. Yeah. And by the way, guys, I really appreciate how often President Trump keeps bringing that up. Repeatedly.
Perhaps more. He knows that there's more. 52,000 is the lowest possible number.
Yeah. So Trump says we'll hit Iran hard tonight and tomorrow. So tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah. So that was his interview earlier today. The one that you just showed us right now. Armin just got us the breaking news. Trump just did that interview minutes ago. So yeah. All right. Here's the thing though. In that same interview, people are posting the text versions of it. Apparently, he said when he was asked on a deal with Iran, he said he believes a deal is still achievable. So this might be going to what I was saying, where they're going to bombard the Islamic Republic, maybe take out a few more of their leaders, hit them where it hurts, have the blockade, which they did, again, covering the entirety of the southern coast of Iran. But then the point is to draw them back to the negotiating table. That looks like that's where we're heading. Hopefully, he's really just lost his patience, realized that he's wasted a ton of time, he can't negotiate with them, and is using this as a disguise to finish them off, we can only hope.
I don't mind even if it's true. Even if it's true that President Trump thinks that you can negotiate with them, bring them back, the point is that you can't. So whether anyone wants it or not, this will keep going. This might be slower than what we want. But remember, like when Saddam fell, people think Saddam fell overnight, like after 2 weeks of attacking them. What led to the fall of Saddam started years before it. It was years of pressures and attack here and there. Okay, it was death by 1,000 cuts. So I know a lot of you are getting frustrated and saying like, okay, why are we not going for the full attack? Why are we negotiating? And the rest of us knows that negotiations with the Islamic Republic is not going to go anywhere. Whether we have different people in America. Some people think it might go. Some people think it's not going to go. It will lead to something. Some people disagree with that. It doesn't matter. We know it's not going to go anywhere. And whether or not, I know a lot of you want like a big military operation that will just get rid of this overnight. And we might get that, we might not get that. But even if we don't get that, this is death by 1,000 cuts. At the end of the day, this is exhausting the Islamic Republic from the inside and the outside. And this is how Saddam eventually fell. Saddam didn't fail because of the ground invasion and the 2-week attack that they did at the end. Saddam fell because he was weakened for multiple years before it led to that final attack.
Same thing with the Soviet Union. And they still negotiated with Gorbachev, and they still negotiated with Saddam Hussein. And they still fell.
Yeah.
So, in terms of internal pressure, let's go back to something that we know sparks protests. Today and yesterday in Tehran, we have retirees, employees of various companies who were laid off and haven't been able to find work. And generally, everyone who is fed up with the economic situation have started to pour back out in the streets in planned, organized protests. These are not the same scale at which we saw in January, nowhere close, but protests start because of economic conditions, economic sparks, and there is no shortage of economic hardships in Iran at the moment. Let's see what they're saying, actually. Armin, you're gonna find it interesting. سفره ما خالیه.
بهره‌بری کافیه، سفره ما خالیه. Is that the first part? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think
if I'm hearing this correctly, they're saying taking advantage of us and profiting from us is enough. Our tables are empty. We have no food.
Yes.
So so if any Iranians could hear Vade, okay, Vade 8. Okay, Vade 8. Okay, so that's a good. So guys, I couldn't hear the first part. The people Iranians in the chat are hearing. They are giving me so basically promises. It's stop giving us Vade 8. Okay, so basically it's enough. Stop giving us promises. It's enough. Stop it. It's enough with the promises. Our tables are empty. We have no food.
Yes, and there's more.
So guys, thank you for the people, for the Iranians in the chat who heard it properly. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this is what's going on, and then it actually devolved into a worse situation. We ended up having the Basij pour out as well and firing tear gas with batons. You can see them in the black uniforms over there. They just fired the tear gas, causing the crowd to start yelling at them. And we can actually see in a few seconds here, people are holding up their shirts to their face. And they started calling them Bisharaf, shameless.
I want people to understand how crazy brave this is, because these are people who are coming out and protesting after we experienced the greatest massacre of the regime on protesters in early January. So you would think that nobody would dare protest after that experience, after the bloodshed of tens of thousands of Iranians for protesting in early January. You would think that nobody would dare protest again, and yet we're seeing this protest. And also, guys, remember that usually the way it works is that protests start with something that is not about regime change. It's about maybe somebody being abused or economic frustration, and then once it picks up, then and people find some safety in numbers, then the chance change to from economic demands, economic relief demand, to regime change, regime fall demands. So usually these initial protests end up being a spark for and a catalyst for a much bigger. Every time this has happened, every single time you saw a mass uprising in Iran, it originally started with something that had something to do with the economy. But the only reason why that happens is because they don't feel safe to come out and chant for regime change. But when the numbers, if any of these protests all of a sudden picks up and the numbers get more, then people find some safety in numbers and they go and they start chanting for regime change, right? So not every single one of these protests turns into a mass uprising, but the more of them, but you basically have a room filled with gunpowder, and each one of these is a spark. So not every spark is going to make the gunpowder turn into like an explosion. But if you have enough sparks, the more of sparks like you have like this, eventually one of them is going to, set everything off.
Absolutely. And I largely believe that this is how the next uprising is going to begin. You have no shortage of economic problems, inflation in the several hundreds of percents. It's only going to get worse from here. The blockade's back. The regime's going to put more pressure on people. And, we actually didn't see the last few clips, but I completely agree with you. We're in complete agreement.
Your guess. So Ali, here are two things that are inevitable. Okay. Continue. More uprisings by the Iranian people, big uprisings by the Iranian people, are inevitable. And if the next uprising is stopped, the next uprising after that is inevitable, and the one after that, and the one after that. Okay. And another thing that is inevitable is military operations by Israel and United States against United States are inevitable. If they end up in ceasefire, they will go back to military operations again. So we're going to have both the Iranian people are going to keep attacking the Islamic Republic. We're going to have days where we have major uprisings, and then maybe we will have periods in between, and we will forever have military operations of Israel and United States against the Islamic Republic with ceasefire periods in between until the Islamic Republic falls. Nothing will stop either of these. Nothing will stop the continuous uprising of the Iranian people against the Islamic Republic. Nothing will be able to stop that. And nothing will stop military clashes between Islamic Republic on one side and Israel and United States on the other side. It will continue indefinitely, and the only thing that will stop it is the fall of the Islamic Republic. This will continuously happen. And the Islamic Republic would not be able to keep surviving this. If it survives today, if it survives tomorrow, we will eventually get to a day that it will be too much for the Islamic Republic. For the Islamic Republic to survive, it has to win against this pressure every single day. But for us to win, we only have to win once. The Islamic Republic has to win every single time for it to survive. But we have to win only once, and it will be all over.
And that is something we've believed forever. We've always thought that. One way or another, they have to go, especially when they do something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, today, a ship has been hit by the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Oh my God.
Not looking so good. Let's check out the Brent oil prices, actually. Okay, so we actually have jumped up to $81 per barrel of Brent oil. Makes sense. Hostilities have officially begun. Donald Trump has notified Congress that he is going back to strikes. Notified them apparently 5 days ago when this all started, but he called them limited defensive strikes. And this ship getting hit is definitely not helping at all. So they were hit on the starboard side, so it looks like they were entering the Strait of Hormuz, but they're still a way off. I mean, this is a little strange for them to get hit. It is directly off of Chabahar here, though, so I mean that might be something there. It's a little unusual for them to be hit that far out. So the bombardments are, I think, right now subsiding. So I have a chance to show you guys a video of what the bombardments have been looking like. So someone managed to film this with their phone. I'll show you guys that real quick. This is either Sirik or Shonarak, I believe. Some people are posting about either these two locations, but this is from tonight. Let's take a look. There we go. Actually going back to that video of the airport, that reporter who was reporting there almost got hit by a chunk of rock. And that is largely why you don't stand so close to explosions. So please, if you hear anything in your lifetime, just get under cover. Getting hit by a piece of flying rock will kill you the same as a nuclear bomb. So it doesn't really make a difference. We have some more images here of the blasts tonight. You can see in the distance, it's a pretty large fireball. People are reporting that even in Sirik, there was like 25 explosions in a matter of seconds. We also have Quiche Island here, and this is what Quiche Island looks like at the moment. Looks like some of the ports got struck, maybe some of the boats there. That's all we know of so far. The ballistic missiles that were launched from the IRGC don't seem to have been fired at the Persian Gulf Arab countries. They seem to have been fired at the U.S. Navy. Another tanker has been targeted by the IRGC. I don't know if it's been hit yet. One of them was hit. And there was one more thing here. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, so, oh yeah, Abu Musa. Let's go back to the map so I can show you guys what the significance of that is. All right, let's go into the Strait of Hormuz. These islands that you guys see here, why is it so, there we go. So Quiche Island was hit. Then these are also being hit. Looks like there's actually an airfield there. Again, these are preparations for a potential ground operation here, but also it seems like the number one priority in order, the priorities in order are stop the hits on the ships, which we can see that. Number two, degrade the air defense. So if they want to launch an extensive aerial campaign, they're able to. And that's why they're hitting further along in the coast, in inland Iran. And then the third would be to also hit these ports and such so that the ground invasion is possible. And then overall, the economic pressure is back with the blockade that Donald Trump announced. Looks like Truth Social is actually completely down as a website right now, but the blockade is fully back. Armin, what do you think about the blockade being back? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting that it hasn't had much of an impact on. I mean, it has some impact. Oh, we're above 81, 80 now. Still, 80 is not that high. Do you think that we will finally see oil, like really high oil prices, if we go to military, full military operations? Because right now the main barrier for the Americans to go to full scale military operations is low oil reserves, right? Like they don't have the cushion to go to full scale military operations the way that they did with Epic Fury. Like the Epic Fury didn't bring us $200 per barrel oil prices, and the main reason was all the countries had a lot of oil reserves to tap into, but we don't have that right now. And that is that's the number one obstacle of United States to be able to freely go back to something resembling Epic Fury. But if the President Trump loses patience to the point where he's like, screw it, let's just go in, do you think we're going to see at some point, I mean, with the blockade and all of this stuff, maybe $200, anything close to $200 per barrel oil prices?
I'm leaning more towards no. They already know that their reserves are low. I think they're only going to plan for another week or two of just obliterating anyone they could possibly find in their sights within the IRGC, and then be like, that's it. Whoever rises from the ashes, maybe we'll negotiate with them. If the people of Iran take over, then they take over. So I'm not leaning towards the oil prices spiking up high and staying there. They might spike but come back down. And of course, we know from the get-go that America would love to dip its fingers into the oil industry of Iran. So just like they did in Venezuela, they'll probably get some sort of deal regarding oil.
So I mean, yeah. But, do you think that that's why President Trump is saying, posting the Truth Social, because they're telling him that he really wants? I think President Trump really, really wants to go back right now to full scale, like blowing stuff up, right? But they're telling him we can't because we don't have enough oil reserves, right? That is one of the main obstacles, not the only one, but the main one. And he was like, let's just go and get their oil, get them, force them. They're like, oh, that's going to be so expensive to basically secure every ship. But like, okay, let's charge them 20% and just force all the ships through, right? So that we don't get the shock from President Trump. Is like, why can't we? Like, I think he's asking himself, why can't we just go back to military operations and then force all of these ships through? And they're like, oh, because they could shut down everything. We're like, okay, but what if we control Harg Island? They can't. But again, I think that's why they're talking about grand invasion. That's why they're talking about the 20%. That's why they're talking about the blockade going back on, but all the other ships will be able to go through. That's why they're talking about taking over Harg Island, because I think President Trump is really wants to find a way to be able to do all of this thing, but without getting too close to critical levels, low amount of oil reserves. That is a. But by the way, guys, I know a lot of you are frustrated why the Americans are not hitting back as much as you want them to, but you have to understand this. This is a major obstacle. Like it would be irresponsible if the Americans don't take this into account. Like it's not just missile interceptors, it's also oil reserve. Like that is. It's not like the United States could just ignore that, right? Like you guys, let me know what you think in the chat.
I think it's apparent that the U.S. is hurting or starting to hurt economically, which is why we've heard more economic things like the 20% other that you're saying. So Donald Trump lost a close friend. He got another tangible assassination plot on him last week, where he had to switch Air Force Ones to the old one. I don't think he's in a great mood. He's really frustrated that he just lost months. He's getting closer to the midterms. I do think he's more leaning on the side of let's finish them off. But at the same time, I also think that he's going to use his frustration as a tactic to signal to people within the Islamic Republic that if worse comes to worse and there's someone other than Ghalibaf assassinate him and bring him in. Maybe that guy will be ready to negotiate with us on the things that we want. Or if we have to trim down the membership of the IRGC, let's do it. But let's get things a little bit started again. And I think that's why the blockade's back on. That's why we're hitting the southern coast. We're preparing for something bigger. This is in preparation.
Yeah. We should at some point listen to President Trump's interview with yes, because that's very important. He reveals a lot with Hugh Hewitt. But let's respond to people before we go to that one, right?
Yes, do it. So Leslie has become a YouTube member. Welcome on board, and thanks for joining. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you for joining.
Also, I just got a thought. So, you know how Donald Trump just put the inspections? He talked about that, and actually was something that they talked about with the Islamic Republic. I think it was a week ago. Time really flows by, but they put that back on the table. They said the IEA or our people need to go in and inspect the sites. And in BLOCKADE, the spokesperson for the Foreign Ministry of the Islamic Republic came out and said, that's not happening. It's just not happening. That tells me that they're gambling. The Islamic Republic is gambling that we're largely continuing on the old equation, the old formula, and the old dragging along of talks. This language that we're hearing from Trump feels like, nope, let's speed things up. I'm fed up. Yeah, that was my thought there. Thanks, Leslie, for joining. Father of Chaos says, good afternoon, Ali. How are you today? I'm doing good. I'm in anticipation of what's about to happen. I think something is going to happen. Something major, not like the pattern that we've seen this week and last week, where we're like, okay, people like us, we watch this stream, we see this news. All of you guys who've been watching, you know what these strikes mean. Other people who don't know might watch the news and see, oh my God, America's finishing off Iran. That's not true right now. You guys know what these strikes are. You know what they're preparing for. You know what they mean. I'd like to see an extensive plan. I'd like to see that this is a building block for us to reach something else. But thank you for asking, Father of Chaos. And Amir the Cricket said, Cardboard Atolla is dead. Apparently he's 90% dead, whatever that means. Armin, what do you think? Do you think, are you leaning more towards Mujtaba existing or not existing?
I think it's possible that President Trump said that he's 90% dead, like he's as good as dead. As good as dead, so not dead. There's something there. Yeah.
Like we think he's alive, but we don't see any signs, so he's probably dead. It's probably like that.
Yeah. No, he might be alive, but basically pretty much as good as dead. I think that's what he meant. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, this is like Schrodinger's supreme leader. Superposition. A superposition. We'll see which way it collapses.
Ooh, Armin, we have some updates. We have some breaking news. Not so good breaking news.
Ooh.
All right, a second oil tanker has been hit. So they have hit 2 oil tankers today, confirmed hits. But this other oil tanker was near the coast of the United Arab Emirates. And this tanker has actually resulted in casualties. I'm trying to read this here. So it's unclear if there's a third tanker hit as well. Keep that in mind. But the second ship that's been hit has resulted in 8 wounded, 4 critically injured. These are 6 Indian workers and 2 Ukrainian nationals on board a tanker called Mombasa. And this is per the Defense Ministry of the United Arab Emirates. This is confirmed. At the same time, we have sounds of fighter jets over the city of Isfahan, and we also have missile interceptions happening over Abu Dhabi right now. So the United Arab Emirates is being targeted.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Wow. This is involving 3 countries: UAE, Ukraine, and India. Indians
Yeah.
were killed by the Islamic
Six.
Republic.
So 6 out of the 8 were Indian. 2 have died. 4 are injured. So no matter what, yeah, some of the Indians are at least injured, if not dead.
Are you sure this is confirmed?
This is by United Arab Emirates Defense Ministry. It's confirmed.
Oh shit.
They're also saying they're having more ships that are being targeted off the UAE coast. So we just know that that one got hit. We know that more are being targeted. So that's why I'm saying a potential 3rd tanker might also be hit here or targeted. We're not sure. So that's going to drive the oil prices up even more. Again, I think that's 5 days in a row now where ships have been hit, or something like that. Maybe it's 4. Time really flies by. Yep. Fires on both vessels are now controlled, though. Okay. So 1 Indian member is dead.
Wow. There needs to. Do you think they? I think they're trying to call President Trump's bluff. They're thinking. I think the Islamic
Absolutely.
Republic thinks that the United States is not going to do anything major especially because of the oil reserves. I think they're thinking that we could do this.
Yeah, that's been my position for a few days now. They're trying to find that red line, and they're pushing the red line of the U.S. And the U.S. has been moving their red line back, and it's still getting pushed. Let's see. So the next super chat is by the Real Sal, saying the U.S. will not invade Iran. There isn't enough U.S. troops deployed for it. The most that will happen is the taking of the islands and raids of ports. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone was seriously talking about actually invading Iran with the, few thousand. What was that?
What that military analyst was referring to was not like a full ground invasion like Iraq. What he was referring to was like maybe for what is the mountain? Kukolang is, what is it in English? The Pickaxe Mountain.
Oh,
Pickaxe Mountain, like just going in. I don't know, like some special operations, like a full-on ground invasion. That does seem unlikely. I do agree with that. That does seem unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, to invade Iran is just out of the question. Absolutely. I think there's a 0% chance of that. But for them to, do the southern coast operations with soldiers, I would say at this point, it's probably more likely than not, just a matter of time.
Honestly, if you just take southern Iran, if you just take all of the southern Iran, you could arm the Iranian people and train them and create a military force there of the Iranian people. But also, you have cut the entire revenue of the Islamic Republic. I mean, even if you just take Khark Island, the Islamic Republic will collapse. You don't need to invade Iran. You just need to take over the southern parts of Iran. That's where all their oil and gas. Guys, do you know there is no oil and gas coming from anywhere else in Iran? Like, not that much. Everything comes from the Persian Gulf. Almost everything comes from the Persian Gulf. So you don't need to do a ground invasion and go take the whole thing. Just take southern Iran and cut the access to all the oil and gas. Everything will collapse if you do that.
Yeah. So the Real Sal is right here, that the southern coast and the islands will be targeted. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. And Fleshy Interloper is saying, are Saudi bases closed to the U.S.? I don't know.
But they didn't let the United States use them. I mean, it's not closed, but they're not allowed to use them against the Islamic Republic.
Still? You think so?
I think so.
Because I know they were, like during the war, they were, and that's actually one of the biggest reasons as to why we're in this mess.
Are the Saudi bases still close to the Americans for using against the Islamic Republic? I could check.
The Saudis have been one of the biggest obstacles for the removal of the IRGC.
Yeah, I mean, if they were open, here's a hint why I think they're closed. If they were open, the Islamic Republic would
hit them.
Be attacking the Saudis.
Yep, that's the deal.
Here, yes, as of July 2026, Persian Gulf Arab states, most notably Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, have strictly maintained their restrictions, keeping their bases and airspaces close to U.S. forces for launching offensive operations against the Islamic Republic. Here's the thing: the reason why we have USS Abraham Lincoln there is because they're close. You wouldn't need you need your own airport over there because all of these places are closed for United States to use against the Islamic Republic. All of them, not just Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, absolutely. I just can't believe that they cut a deal with the IRGC. Like, hey, we're going to stop the US from taking you out, even though we want them to take you out. Just don't hit us. Like, we're so scared of you hitting us. Just don't hit us. And spineless, to say the least, really. UAE is being targeted again. Still looks like they're intercepting more missiles. Okay. Yeah, Fleshy. The Saudis. And the Real Sow said, what's the best Telegram to have for updates? What kind of updates? If you want updates from the explosions, I would follow Shin and Vahid Online, their Telegrams. And actually, that's pretty much it. In terms of Iranian Telegram channels, just follow those two. You'll be good.
Shin. Yeah, Shin and Vahid Online, for sure.
Yeah. And then Fleshy Interloper is saying, finally, I was waiting for this. What part exactly?
The boom booms, of course.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I let my buddies know in CENTCOM to start it up for tonight. Again, I'm telling them, them it's not going to work. I'm telling them, hey, like, you gotta step it up. And they're like, okay, you'll see. I'm just waiting here. And cool, sweet. So thank you very much, Fleshy. And Kaveh saying, why do Pahlavi, the Iranian people, Israel, USA, and the Gulf countries
Persian Gulf
separately? Persian Gulf countries all act separately. Wouldn't simultaneous internal and external pressure make the Islamic Republic far more likely to fall fast? I have a very simple answer for you. It's because Pahlavi and the Iranian people have the same objective. Israel largely, not completely, largely has the same objective as the Iranian people and Prince Pahlavi. Then you're moving down. You're even saying them in order. So it goes Pahlavi, Iranian people together. Israel a little bit less together. USA a little bit less together. Gulf countries further apart. A lot of the Gulf countries don't really care if the Islamic Republic, Persian Gulf countries, they don't really care if the Islamic Republic is gone or if it stays. They just care about selling their oil. They prefer a weak Iran, but they don't necessarily care if the Islamic Republic stays or goes. That's why. Everyone has different objectives.
So I wouldn't, you're correct, but I would word it from the other perspective. Instead of saying little bit less aligned, then more or less, I would say Israel and the Iranian people and Pahlavi are more aligned. I would focus on the positive rather than the distance, right? And then United States is then the next mostly aligned, and the Persian Gulf countries are the least aligned. But Kaveh, I do think you're correct, though. This is the solution. This is the solution. If these in an alternative, parallel universe, the Islamic Republic would have been gone by now because of all of these entities decided to just work aligned with each other against the Islamic Republic. If that had happened, so for example, this is how that would work, right? You get the Americans to liberate Bandar Abbas, right? You get Princess of Pahlavi to put a call to action to bring the Iranian people to Bandar Abbas to get trained and armed, right? You get the American Marines to liberate Bandar Abbas. you make Bandar Abbas the base of operation of the Iranian people to get armed and trained and create an Iranian army under the direction of Princess of Pahlavi. You get the Americans to take the Islamic Republic's oil tankers and give it to this Iranian people who are now turning Bandar Abbas into their base of operations. You get the Iranians to sell the oil tankers, the oil in the oil tankers, in the market, and use that money to pay the Americans for their services to liberate Bandar Abbas, but also for them to continue providing air support to the Iranian people in Bandar Abbas. So the Americans would be paid for their secure services, and also for the Americans not to have boots on the ground, because they wouldn't have because instead of that, they would be arming the Iranian people for those would be the boots on the ground. You will get Princess Pahlavi and his team to filter who the people who come to Bandar Abbas to get trained, so that we're not arming the wrong people. Then you get the Ukrainians. Also, they would do that with Mossad to gather information regarding the people who are coming and vet them to make sure that you're giving weapons to the right people. You get the Ukrainian soldiers to come. So here's what your list is missing. Ukraine. You get the Ukrainians to come to Bandar Abbas to provide drones to the Iranian people and train them in how to use drones. And then you expand this army, and by doing that, you're also liberating the Strait of Hormuz before you even liberate the rest of Iran. The Strait of Hormuz will be free, and then as this army expands in southern Iran, as it expands all across the Persian Gulf, the Islamic Republic will lose all access to its revenue from oil and gas, and it will become fully bankrupt. And the Iranian army will become very rich. So you don't even need to start with Tehran. If you get southern Iran, this Iranian army will get very rich because it has oil and gas now, and it could provide the finances for its own soldiers to train and eat and have a place to live, and to pay the Ukrainian soldiers for the training and the drones, and that money will go to Ukrainian army against Putin. So there's a win over there here as well. And the money that goes to the Americans means that the Americans will have a lot of political capital to do this in Washington, D.C., because they're not putting American soldiers boots on the ground. One, it's easier to sell this politically in the United States by telling the American voters that we're not invading a country, we're just enabling the Iranian people to free themselves. You're showing you're showing the American voters that you're not losing money on this. In fact, you might even make a profit. You're providing air support to the Iranian people, and they're paying for it with the oil tankers that you just took from the Islamic Republic that you gave them. So I don't know how the Persian Gulf countries could get involved. I think they could get involved by staying out of the way, because they're useless, honestly. So that's their best contribution that they could do, is stay out of the way. Yeah, they could basically maybe hold Oman and Qatar back, not to get involved. That's the best they could do. So that would be the major contribution from them. But yeah, this will get the Princess of Pahlavi, the Iranian people, Israel, Ukraine, and United States involved, and Persian Gulf countries could just set this one back. That would be the best plan, in my opinion.
There you go, Kaveh. Thank you for that super chat. And the real Sao is saying, this war is going to first force the Arab countries to work with Israel on defense. Gulf states, the Persian Gulf states, clearly want it. This war will force that alliance to happen. Speaking of that, Saudi Arabia has informed us that they would like to, so here, let me show this to you guys. So, Saudi Arabia actually started talking about the Abraham Accords, and they said to the US, hey, we're ready to talk about joining the Abraham Accords, but there's two conditions. One, Netanyahu's got to go. We cannot be friends with Israel and join the Abraham Accords as long as Benjamin Netanyahu is the prime minister. And two, Ben Gvir has got to go and stop his operations in Gaza. Those are the two. So no Benjamin Netanyahu administration, no more Palestine, Gaza.
Is this
conflict.
confirmed?
Yeah.
Can you send
They
this
said
to me?
that.
Because I want to double check.
Yeah.
Because guys, tell me what's the significance of this post. Anybody in the chat? What is this? Let me see if the chat gets anybody in the chat gets this. What is the significance of this post, if true? Let me actually double check if it's true. Thank you, Ali.
Yeah, of course.
And Ali, what is something so very significant about this if it's true?
That the only thing holding them back is like public image, is what they're trying to say. Hey, we're ready to join the Abraham Accords. Like, it's not a problem. But like,
But that has always but that has always been the case. Okay,
but
they
that they're
always wanted
signaling
to.
it. And
No,
they're
I mean the
saying that we're
Saudis always. The Saudis always wanted to join the Abrahamic Accord, but they had to, and they signaled that they wanted it, but they always had to, virtue signal that, oh, we can't because Israel is bad and stuff like that. But there's something changed. What is new about this? Let me see if anybody. Let me see the chat. Let me see in the chat. There's a major difference if this is the case.
What's the difference?
Here's a question for you. Here's a hint. What is missing here? What is not there?
What is not there?
Let me double check. I want to make sure that this is in full context.
Nothing comes to my mind. Oh, people. Oh, I see. Okay, well, the chat spoiled it for me.
Good job. So. Yes. So the major obstacle for Saudi Arabia getting into the Abrahamic Accord was that Israel needs to move forward, make steps towards the two-state solution. Exactly. Like as soon as I said what's missing, people, you all got it. Good job.
Yeah, when I read that, the feeling that I got was that they're being less resistant to this idea. So with more time, I feel like they're going to get there. I feel like it's less about what the words that they're saying, and it's more about the normalization of them talking about it more and more and reducing their requirements, as you're saying.
I need to see the full context of this. Oh. Because if this is their new condition, this is a major step towards them accepting the Abrahamic Accord, because that major obstacle was Saudi Arabia's insistence on Israel having to.
So let me read some more super chats here. We have channel saying scorched earth. Yes, they should never sleep again. Hold up. No scorched earth in Iran. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bad idea. But if you're talking about scorched earth in a figurative sense, in terms of the Islamic Republic, the Durkas, and the IRGC, then yeah, that's totally fine.
Scorched earth, if by scorched earth you means basically burning the Islamic Republic from its roots, then yes.
Yeah, but no destroying Karg Island, no destroying critical infrastructure.
No, Karg Island could be rebuilt. I mean, if it becomes necessary, if it becomes necessary for the fall of the Islamic Republic, the infrastructure, the main infrastructure of Iran is the Iranian people, right? Germany was basically destroyed. Most infrastructure of Germany was destroyed after World War II, and look at where Germany ended up at the end. It become one of the world's largest economies. As long as you have your main capital is the human capital. So we need to free the human capital of the Iranian people, and if you need to destroy some of the infrastructure to get there, go for it. If you need to.
Gotcha. People are really talking it up about Jordan being their country instead of Palestine. All right.
See what? See
People
what?
in the chat are like, oh yeah, the Palestinians have a country. It's called Jordan.
Right. Well, I mean, the Palestinians don't have a country because Palestinian is not a group of people; it's a terroristic movement. So don't refer to a group of people as Palestinians. This is there are people living in Judea and Samaria. There are people who live in Gaza. There are people who live in Jordan. There's no such thing as a Palestinian people unless you're talking about terrorists who are trying to destroy Israel.
Yeah. Well, the chat is saying that.
Yeah, I know.
And Justin is saying, guys, we could have taken out those tiny subs at any time. The fact we did now, I'm starting to think Marines are going in soon. I think these are preps. That's what I'm saying. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Justin, I think you're right. And Justin also said those tiny subs aren't really a threat to anything but landing craft. Maybe that's why they were built in the first place. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. That's a good point, Justin.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still threats to ships as well. A torpedo is going to blow a hole into a amphibious craft is the same as it's going to do inside of a tanker in a battleship.
Yeah, no, but he didn't say those are the only threats to landing craft. He said the only thing these subs could do is be a threat to landing crafts. So yeah. Why didn't they touch them until now? Maybe they're getting ready for something. Or, Justin, to be fair, maybe they're trying to create the perception that they are getting ready for something to scare the Islamic Republic.
Yeah.
That could also be the case, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, I'm leaning more towards the actual deploying of limited troops, not an invasion, guys, just limited ground operations. I'm really leaning more towards that than the bluff. But I'm trying to also figure it out. Thank you, Justin. And Fleshy Interloper is saying, can we rename it to Pick Ass Mountain? Yeah, after the war, we can do that.
No. I think that's an old name. It might be an ancient name.
It'll be like, we'll have the Farsi name, but then like under it, we can have that one.
In honor of Fleshy Interloper.
Because in Iran, they have the Farsi on every billboard and sign, they have Farsi, and then under it, they have English. We can just have the English, but yeah.
In Israel, everywhere you go, like in Tel Aviv, everywhere you go, every sign has Hebrew, Arabic, English. Arabic, everything has Arabic.
So are the signs bigger?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so, to make room. But this is apparently apartheid against Arabs, right? Every sign everywhere has an Arabic version of it, but then yet they call it apartheid.
I see. Getting caught up here. Okay, yeah. So after we read these super chats, I'm going to give you the updates on the more updates that we have regarding some like F-22s, what the sky over Iran looks like right now, the Iraqi explosions in Erbil, along with a Russia update. It's not looking so good for them. And yeah, let's keep on going. Thank you, Fleshy Interloper.
Thank you.
And Karen is saying Trump sent a letter to Congress telling them that the war is on again. Yeah, he worded it differently, though. So he actually sent that letter 5 days ago. New York Times just got their hands on it and released the article today. And on July 7th, he informed Congress that we are going back to defensive strikes. But largely the headlines are Trump has notified Congress that we have gone back to war. The difference in the wording doesn't really make a difference. I largely agree that this is a declaration that, we're going back to a sort of war. And then people are saying, yeah, he gave Congress 48 hours notification and then the war resumed and, the technical legalities, whatever you may call. So that's the info on that. Thank you for reminding me, Karen. Sarah Ocean is saying, here's to big, beautiful booms, boys. Javid Shah.
Javid Shah. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Always with the motivation.
Thank you. I'm gonna sneeze, I think.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm good. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. And the real
Wait, there was
Sal
two
is saying,
Sarah. You skipped Sarah.
oh, sorry, discombobulated. I got hit by the discombobulator. Sarah's saying, and this one is just to say, love you guys. Buses.
Ah,
Well, thank you very much.
this is
Thank
back.
you. So kind.
Thank you.
It's always a feel-good moment. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And the real Sal is saying, if Trump is smart, he would finish the job. I mean, I think, Armin, I'm really sure that by the end of his term, it's 100%. I think the chance is 100% that by the end of Trump's term, it's done. That's just
Oh,
what I think.
wow.
But I'm young and I'm optimistic.
Yeah. There's nothing in life that is 100% for me except one thing. But I'm not certain about anything.
Your existence?
I'm skip. No, not my existence. Something existing.
Oh, is that there is existence? Okay.
There is something, because I think like you can't even tell if you exist, because you could be an illusion. But the only thing that is certain in life is what something exists. Other than that, everything is close. Like it's very close to 100%, but nothing is actually 100%.
Okay. Gotcha. I was gonna start challenging you on that, but I think it can go on for a while. Be like, yeah, what about this? Thank you, Sal. And Justin is saying, Jew hater, how's your copium reserve looking? Running low? How's that victory you Durkas thought you won looking now?
Ooh.
Yeah, 90% gone supreme leader. I know,
Yes.
Justin. I know. Let's see.
Notice how he doesn't show up like days like this. Oh, where is he?
True.
Notice how he doesn't show up on days like this. He shows up when Lindsey Graham dies, and then when he shows up, but the days like this, he doesn't show up. Or maybe his mom is beating him for stealing his credit card.
Absolutely. I think he did get beat. Thank you, Justin. And Nima is saying, Yalda 2026 and Tusi's Pub in Tehran. First round is on me, Ali. Armin gets a health smoothie for me. I hate to break it to you. But me and Armin are actually the same. For health reasons, we actually don't really drink. So not for religious reasons, it's for health reasons.
2 health smoothies then, but for both of us.
Sorry.
You can get us tea.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Yes.
Thanks, Nima.
Sorry. Oh, we could make an exception, and only on the day that Iran is free, we could make an exception.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
It's a once in a lifetime event.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do drink like once a year. Once a year, I do drink. So we could
Okay.
We could, yeah.
So we'll take you up on that, Nima. And
Yes.
Justin said, Mojtaba is Rain Man now. There's a pulse, but nobody home. Oh.
Wait, wasn't Rain Man smart?
I don't know who that is. I'm assuming that's like from a movie.
Yeah, Rain Man was pretty smart. He was not in a coma or anything. The opposite of Rain Man.
Huh. Interesting. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
I think that's probably a compliment. I mean, that's like a insult to Rain Man, I feel like then. And we have a super chat from Tao Fei saying the only quote-unquote boots on the ground would be special forces teams training the populace to be an army.
Yes.
It's what they do, and they do it very well. Thank you. You'd be surprised at how fast people will learn when guided by professionals. So once again, Tao Fei, our literal special forces soldier, on board the Ocean Trader right now on the way to Iran.
Yep.
Yeah, it's what they do, and they do it very well. Thank you. It's like, oh, my bad.
Yes.
I didn't mean it against you, Tao.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
I think he meant. Yes. It's actually true, and it's actually more true now, better and more than ever before. I was talking to a military expert, and I was saying that when it comes to drone, we already have expert drone operators in Iran, because many young Iranian men and boys, they play computer games all the time. So I'm pretty sure, like I was joking, saying that should be training on how to operate a drone. And then he told me that's actually not just a joke. That's actually true. Drones these days are so user friendly that operating them is pretty similar to playing a video game. And young men and boys who have been playing video games a lot, they actually end up becoming really good drone operators.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, the military used more simulators to do that as well. So it's nothing new, actually. It's been around forever.
Who knew, like, video games will one day be useful for something, right? Like all of that. When sometimes you watch like people who are really good at, I don't know, sniping somebody like within seconds, making decisions, and now those people are going to be the best at using drones.
Yeah, depends on the video game, guys, by the way. But yeah, letting your kids play video games growing up was a good idea.
I don't know if it depends. As long as you have good eye-hand coordination and you're very quick with your hands, you should be able to, within a few months of practicing with the drones, you should be able to get good at it.
Thank you, Tao. We hope you train the Iranian people well. And veteran Hoffman saying, Palestine never existed. Therefore, there's no such thing as a Palestinian. Show me Palestine on any historical map that's been authenticated. I'll wait. I would never be able to find it. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, Palestine as a name for a location has been a thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, what does
Palestine
it mean?
Palestine as a country has never existed. Okay. So Palestine is the name that the Roman Empire gave to Israel as an anti-Jewish, because they hated the Jews. So they it's a Roman name. It's an imperialist name. It's actually quite ironic, because the so-called anti-imperialists today, they are defending an imperialist name against the native name of the land. The native name of the land is Israel. Palestine is the imperial name that the Roman Empire gave to the land as an anti-Jewish measure. So these anti-imperialists are basically supporting the imperialist name. And that name, Palestine, is so foreign to that land that the people who use it can't even pronounce it. Right? The name is so foreign to that region that they don't even have the letters to pronounce the P sound. That's why that's why they turned it into Philistine. So the actual name that the Romans gave to that place was Palestine. And because they don't have the sound for it in their vocabulary, they say Philistine instead of Palestine. That's how foreign this name is to that land. So the more accurate way to say it is not to, because if you say Palestine never existed, well, it was a name on a map, like Roman maps, for example, right? It was a name. It was a foreign name given to a geographic area. It has never been a name of a country. Palestine has never been a country, and it will never be a country. It will never be a country, has never been a country, it will never be a country. But it has been a Roman name. It also has been a British name. So it's Western in two senses. It's Western because the Roman Empire named it Palestine. It also it's a Western name because based on the British mandate, the British called the entire area Palestine as well. So in both senses, it's a Western name, and it's a foreign name.
Thank you, veteran Hoffman. And Fleshy Interloper saying, where is Lior when you need a cookie? I know.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know. Where is
Leo.
she? Where is she? I don't know, Fleshy. It's a good question.
She's gonna show
Thank
up
you for the
now.
super chat. And Viz Engicist is saying, Ali, please tell CENTCOM more boom booms. They're not done. They're going to keep on going. Like last night, late into the night, they were still going. Today, in the morning, they were still going. In the afternoon, they were still going. I don't think the strikes actually really stop. It's more like they have a few hours of breaks in between them. But yes, sir. I will let them know. Thank you, Fizz Engicist. Royna Pora is saying, great. Great that most regional countries are stepping in.
More regional countries. I think he's talking about Saudi Arabia bombing the Houthi, the Sana'a airport. Yeah, I mean, it is good to put pressure on the Houthis, but the Saudis have been really bad at war again. I mean, all the Arab. Here's the thing. So here's the thing: the Saudis had a 10-year war against the Houthis, and they had no success. 10 years of war against the Houthis, and they had no success. And they're supposed to have success because the Houthis had nothing, and the Saudis had everything. Okay, these countries are pathetic at war. Like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE. I mean, UAE, to be fair, they're a little bit. Yeah, UAE is a bit better. Okay, a little bit. But most of them are pathetic at
And they've
war.
been getting training for decades by the U.S., by the way.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia has the most expensive weapons, the most advanced and expensive weapons from the United States, and they don't know how to use it. They suck at it. This is why I think the Saudis should just get the, Saudis. I know you're hiring Ukrainians for drones and stuff like that. Here's the tip: don't just buy the drones. Just get the Ukrainians to come operate it for you as well. Okay, you guys don't know what you're doing. Okay, buy Ukrainian drones and also buy services for the Ukrainians themselves to come operate it for you. You guys don't know what you're doing. You guys suck at almost everything. The only thing that the Saudis are good at and they excel at, is wasting money. Nobody wastes money like the Saudis.
That's why they love the U.S. to perform their defense for them. The Marines come and man all the defense systems. But the offensive, they don't. Thank you, Royna.
Thank you.
And Arik-san is saying, why should Saudi dictate the conditions? Israel should demand for the Abraham Accords that they need to take 4 million Palestinians. F them. Cyrus Accords first.
Yes. I mean, they could keep demanding things, and Israel could say no, and you could just keep getting bombed by the Islamic Republic while you're not in the Abrahamic. Either accept the security umbrella of Israel, or just deal with the being in lack of security and your entire and other people taking their investments and their trade and their tourism elsewhere. It's their choice. Keep insisting on the idiotic two-state solution as a I mean, you shouldn't have any conditions. You should be begging them. Saudi Arabia should be on their knees begging Israel to bring them in under their security umbrella. That's the only way that you will have any type of security.
That's going to be a problem in the future, that Saudi is sitting in a nice spot where they're getting protection from the U.S. And unless the U.S. actually steps out and says you have to go under the protection of Israel, which I don't know if that's really going to happen, then that's going to be a problem between Israel and Saudi eventually. Thank you, Royna, and thank you, Arik-san. Maybe they should. Maybe Egypt should take some. I don't know. And Jagatai saying, Ali Khabar Namai. Ali Namai. By the way, love your recaps.
Khabar Namai? I don't know. Khabar Ali Namai. Okay. I don't know. But yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, we always get you guys the summary. Thank you, Jagatai. Father of Chaos is saying confetti. Ooh, we got 10. We got 10. Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
Yes, 10 on both sides. Thank you, guys.
Let's do it. Thank you, Father Chaos. And Fleshy Interloper says, to a free Iran. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Cheers.
You know, I made a tweet the other day, a few days ago, and I said the Islamic Republic will not survive 2027. I pinned that to my profile.
Really?
I'm waiting for it. I'm gonna invest in that tweet. I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay, we'll see.
Thank you, Fleshy. And Sarah Ocean said, Armin just told us Ali is a hologram. Yeah, I'm not real. Armin actually created me in the lab and has been programming me. Yeah.
That's why he's so good. That's why he's so good.
Came out of nowhere, and yeah.
Yes. You can't get this good naturally.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have the interviews. We actually also have alligrams. Which should we do first?
Let's do alligrams.
Okay. All right. Sorry to make you guys wait so long for this. Are you able to open Telegram right now?
Yeah. Yep.
You're like, if I send you this link, are you able to open it? Let's see. All right, here you go. See if that works. It's not letting me open it for some reason.
Okay. Yeah. Copy link messages. Ooh.
I don't know why that's not letting me.
Oh, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Telegram.
No, oh yeah, you're right. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it on my Telegram app. I could just read it. For some reason, it's not opening in the website. If I'm a DD,
yeah, I think Telegram's website is kind of down actually.
Yeah. Okay. Just screenshot it. Just screenshot it.
Okay. Yeah. So people are saying Telegram's working, but the down detector indicates that there's some issues. Yeah. Gotcha. So here's the problem. When I copy and paste it into my map,
it's okay.
Here I can only open it on the website. I can't go back to the app. So if it lets you opening on the app, actually, do you mind?
Here, I'll just screenshot it. I'll just screenshot it, and then I will. Don't worry, I got you.
So guys, we go into the IRGC group chats where the more political-minded people in the Islamic Republic who are supporters talk about the events and the politics and of everything. We grab some of the messages so you guys can see what are the people on the other side thinking and saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Could you read it out for people? Because I don't think translate it.
So this is a pro-regime person, right? Saying in one of the Telegram groups regarding with the IRGC, saying بفرما دیدی پیامم رو پاک کردن؟ دیدی چقدر بی‌شرفن؟ مگه ناموس ندارید هی پیام رو پاک میکنید؟ چقدر بهتون پول دادن؟ دم نزنید از دانش آموزان جنوبی چقدر بی‌شرف هستید؟ خدا ازتون نگذره. امیدوارم به خاک سیاه بشینید. آه و ناله دانش آموزان پشتتونه. Okay, so this guy is butthurt over their comments getting deleted. Wow.
I'm butthurt over their comments getting deleted.
So guys, remember yesterday Ali found some comments of pro-regime but anti-negotiations, anti-deal people coming out and complaining on Telegram accounts of IRGC. And their comments, Ali, when they found them, then he tries to show it to us, but then they get deleted. So people who are complaining about negotiations and the MOU being signed and stuff like that, their comments are being deleted. And here's a proof that their comments are being deleted because this person is like really, really butthurt. He's saying, see, you deleted my comment. You see how dishonorable you are? You mother effers. You keep deleting our comments. How much money have they given you?
I'm butthurt. I'm butthurt. Every time I find a really good comment, And I'm like, guys, I found something really good. The admins come in and just freaking delete it.
Oh, now I get it. چقدر پول دادن دم نزنید از دانش آموزان جنوبی. چقدر بیشتر. And like how much money they have given you so that you don't talk about the students in the South. Oh, I think as like God will punish you. God will turn you into black dirt from the the crying of the students in the South will become a curse upon you.
Oh man.
Like that. Yes. And it will destroy you.
All right, let's go on to the next one. And here is the next one.
Okay. These people are really upset, guys.
Yeah, let me send them in order.
So sad.
But yeah, there was a couple of interesting ones. Like some of them are waking up, but there's just a lot of back and forth of like, see, you wanted the war. This is what the war got us. Look how bad we are now. And then people are like, we have to keep on fighting. We have to keep on fighting. And they're like, why don't you see Iran's being turned into the new Lebanon? They're just coming and hitting us wherever they want.
Oh, look at this. So this person is saying Jangro Kishurukat. So guys, these are people who are want the Islamic Republic to survive, but they're fighting against other people who are also pro-Islamic Republic, right? جنگو کی شروع کرد؟ کسی که اول انقلاب به سفارت آمریکا حمله کرد. Wait a second.
Read it. Read the whole thing.
444 روز گروگانگیری کرد. مگه قبل از جریان سفارت کسی به ما حمله کرده بود؟ مگه ما تحریم بودیم؟ Wow. همه چیز رو جمهوری اسلامی شروع کرد. Okay, this guy is actually against the Islamic Republic. خیلی حرف دارن بزنن ولی متاسفانه اینجا پاک میکنن چون از حرف حق میترسن. So this guy is saying, so guys, look at this. This is in IRGC Telegram groups, okay? So this guy is saying, who started the war? So guys, did the Americans start the war or the Islamic Republic, right? So this guy is saying, who started the war? The person, the entity that started, the one who's from the beginning, from day one of the revolution, attacked the American embassy. So the Islamic in 1979, the Islamic Republic attacked the United States embassy in Tehran and took hostage all the staff there. So it's like the one who attacked the American embassy. Those are the people who started the war. And 444 days they took the people there hostage for 404 days. مگه قبل از جریان سفارت کسی به ما حمله کرده بود؟ Like, did anyone attack us before the attack on the embassy, on the American embassy? Did anyone sanction us before then? Everything was started by the Islamic Republic. And then he says, I have so much to say, but unfortunately, they will erase it here because they're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of the truth. So he's saying, I can't say what I want to say here because in this group, they delete them. So this is an admission that it was the Islamic Republic that started everything, not the Americans.
They do delete them. But yeah, so he's not the only person saying that. I saw another like 15 people say that. Say similar things of like, it's us. Aren't we the problem? Guys, are we the villains? Is it us?
Are we the baddies? Are we the baddies?
Is it our fault? Did we start all this? Then we also have a few more. Apparently, Armin, people in the group chat right now, I'm checking, they're talking about how the parliament guys of the Islamic Republic, they'd opened up today. And everyone showed up. All the members of parliament showed up. The parliament member from Qom, so like the religious capital of Iran, he said, hey, guys, he like apparently stood up and made a speech. And he's like, guys, I used to be a Ghalibaf hater. I criticize him all the time. You guys all know that. I've said it before. But now I don't think there's anyone closer to the supreme leader's will than Ghalibaf.
Oh my God. Sure.
He actually didn't want to become the leader of the negotiations, but it was only after the supreme leader himself told Ghalibaf to do it that he stepped up. He didn't want it. And I'm like, wow. So Ghalibaf's sinking his nails into anyone and everyone to get them to come to his side.
Amazing. Okay.
So what's the next one? Ooh.
This one is saying, ooh, so somebody saw a comment that they don't like and they're butthurt, and now they're asking this person. So the other people were complaining about censorship and being deleted. This guy is asking for it. This guy is like, delete this person, ban this person. So look at this. It's saying, این سرباز موساد رو بند کنید. نه تنگه باز میشه نه به کسی اورانیوم میدیم. So this guy is saying, ban this Mossad agent. So like he's upset with this comment above. And he's saying, ban this Mossad agent up here. We will not open the Strait of Hormuz, and we will not give our uranium to anyone. تازه خسارات نفتی هم بهمون زده همش باید پس بده. باید پس بده. Like not only that, they cause a lot of damages and they have to give us reimbursement. What is it called? Reparations for the damages that they caused. So we're not gonna open the Strait of Hormuz. We're not gonna give the enriched uranium, and they have to pay us for all the damages. وگرنه نفت امارات و عربستان و بندرهاش در کنار پایگاه‌های آمریکایی که مورد هدف قرار گرفتن، اونا هم مورد سبب قرار میگیرن. Like if they don't do that, not only we will hit the UAE oil and UAE's oil and Saudi's oil and all their ports. In addition to that, all of the US bases, all of them will be targeted. و اونا هم مورد سبب کویت و بحرین هم خسارت ندن میگیریمشون. Oh, and also if Kuwait and Bahrain don't pay us for damages, we will just take them. The entire country.
Take over Kuwait and Bahrain.
We will take over Kuwait and Bahrain. Is this guy for real? آره داداش. دوره بزنده رو تموم شده. Like yes man. The time for you to hit us and run away hasn't over. My God, this guy's delusional. So this guy is like in deep delusion. The other people were waking up. This guy is in deep delusion. تمام تفاهم نامه رو هم نقض کرده آمریکا به جیب بیت المال ضربه زده. Like so we will not let them get away. And not only that, the entire MOU has been violated by the United States, and they have caused us a lot of damage. So there's that.
He's going to be in a world of hurt in the future when he realizes that he was lied to his entire life. No nuclear, no nothing. We'll take over Kuwait and Bahrain and make America pay for everything that they've done. You and what army?
Wow.
So yeah, that's the two sides, by the way. So everyone, the admins are coming in, they're banning and deleting a lot of messages. And so this is one of the guys who are super hardline. And he's like, why aren't we banning enough messages? There's people are waking up. Ban their messages so other people can't see them. They're waking up. They're realizing.
So let's just do one more before we go to the interview, because I want to make sure we don't miss the interview. So here's one. Somebody saying there's no use. It's clear as day that there is no deterrence. Weak. So, guys, this guy's complaining about the Islamic Republic's response to the Americans hitting them. Like, it has no use. It's so clear that we have no deterrence capability. It's weak. Not enough volume. Stop it. We shouldn't have negotiated. We shouldn't have opened the Strait of Hormuz. But we did it. And then used our... They were at the weakest point, and now they're in power. And now the price of oil is now so low. We lost. Bad باختیم مذاکره رو. Bad. We really lost the negotiations. Really bad. Really bad. So this guy thinks that they completely lost. Yeah. Bad باختیم مذاکره رو. Bad. Bad باختیم.
Messed up.
Okay. Let's go to President Trump, because I think this is so important to watch in its entirety.
Joined now by President Donald Trump.
Wait, hold on.
Joined now by President Donald Trump. Mr. President, welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show. Thank you. I want to begin by saying I'm sorry you've lost your friend, Lindsey Graham. I want to congratulate you on the 250th anniversary of the country on the Mall and your speech. And I want to especially thank you for raising with General Secretary Xi Jinping, Jimmy Lai, and Pastor Mingri, the pastors in the United States. Do you think it would help get Jimmy Lai out if Pope Leo spoke up for Jimmy Lai?
I don't know. I don't think so. I had a long talk with President Xi, and he expressed great dislike. He said, very nicely, he kept me up at night. You know, they had a lot of problems there, and I guess at some point I'll speak to the son. But he's got a lot of dislike there. I got the other one out, as you know.
Yes, you did.
And that was good, but I'm having a little problem with Jimmy. We've gotten a lot from China. China's been good. We got TikTok approved, as you know, and it's good. I was number
Should
one on
we
TikTok.
skip ahead like a minute and see if
which
we
was
can
very
find
good.
the Iranian
But I got
portion?
a lot of
Yeah, I think this is important,
things,
okay.
frankly.
I think it's the whole thing is short, but I think internationally it's very important to listen to the
Okay.
entirety of it. It's only 6
Taking in a lot of money from China, but Jimmy, I didn't do as well with, frankly.
Well, you don't give up. I hope you keep
No,
trying.
I'm not going to give up. No, I'm not going to give up. But you know, look, they did have a little problem with Hong Kong. Let's face it,
Yeah.
we had that was a pretty nasty situation. So
Now,
you can also understand the other side a little bit. But nope, I never give up.
all right, let me talk about Iran. Iran broke the first ceasefire. They broke another one over the weekend. You have obliterated 3 of their nuclear sites, but they got a 4th site maybe at Pickaxe Mountain.
Yeah.
Before you enter into another deal, will you insist that IAEA inspectors get down into that deep tunnel and find out if they got a doomsday machine down there?
Absolutely. They don't have it because we have eyes, you know, with the with Space Force and everything else. We have a lot of eyes on it. But Pickaxe is a possible target for a nice big fat shot right into the front door. And I think that you'll see that. I'll tell them right now. Look, the fact is they have no Air Force, they have no Navy, they have no nothing.
So guys, Pickaxe is going to be a lot more difficult than the 3 other sites to get down to. That's why they didn't do it as a target. So I don't know. Pickaxe, there's only 2 ways to get down there where the enriched uranium facility is. And it is a doomsday facility down there. You know, the whole world is in danger because of what's happening in Pickaxe Mountain. And you either have to use a tactical nuclear weapon, which they're not going to do, or you need to send ground forces, or you need to just do regime change. There is no other way with stopping the Islamic Republic from going to a full nuclear weapon capability at the Pickaxe enrichment facility. It's one of these 3. Either you use tactical nukes, or you do special operations and send ground forces to destroy that area, or you do regime change. There is no other way out of it.
All they do is talk, and they have fake press. They do very well with the fake press. But
Yes, they do.
Because the fake news wants us to lose. It's not even, I mean, the New York Times, they actually said a week ago, can't imagine they say it now, but think of it. They have no Navy, have no Air Force, have no anything. They have no military, they have nothing. And the Times said, and their inflation, by the way, just hit 301% from 5%. They said, oh, they're in better shape now than they were 4 months ago before I started.
Yeah, but the fake media always brings up Pickaxe Mountain, and I don't think it's not on your list. I think it's on your list.
Could you pause it for a second?
We're watching.
Yeah.
Some people are wondering what Pickaxe Mountain is. We know that the Islamic Republic had 3 facilities for nuclear enrichment to build a bomb. Well, there's actually a 4th, and it's called Pickaxe Mountain, and it was not touched. We didn't hit it. We can't reach it. It's hard to reach it. So they are building a bomb there, and we got to get it. That's what Pickaxe Mountain is.
Yeah, the reason why it wasn't hit is because unlike the 3 others, this one is so deep underground. The reason why the Islamic Republic built it is because the other ones weren't deep enough, and the U.S. bunker busters could reach them. Pickaxe, on the other hand, is so deep. They were made because of with the understanding of how deep the bunker busters of the United States can go, and they just went deeper.
It closely. We see no activity there. They're not doing well with their nuclear situation. Every time we hear about it, we blow it up. So they don't like talking about it. But we'll probably give Pickaxe a shot relatively soon.
Good. Now,
Wow.
you know the Iranians will never.
Wow, that's a big deal that he said that. We will give Pickaxe a shot relatively soon. That is kind of, well, how? Okay. That would require some
he hasn't said that
serious
before.
level of yeah. But that would require some serious level of escalation, like serious level of escalation.
Pickaxe a shot relatively soon.
Good. Now, you know the Iranians will never, this regime, the crazy people, and they are fanatics, they're religious fanatics, they will never stop trying to kill you and your family and blow up your library. Do you think you've got to get that regime out of there in the next 30 months?
Well, I think they're a little cuckoo. I think they all are. We knocked out the first regime. We then knocked out the second regime. We then took out about 25% of this regime.
So, guys, let's just be clear. They're all the same regime. There's no the first. These are first, second, and third level of layers of leadership. It's not one regime. Second, I understand why President Trump speaks like that, but we just have to be clear. They're all the same regime. There has been no regime change.
Out the second regime. We then took out about 25% of this regime. And they're wired a little bit differently. We had a deal yesterday, and it was like going to be 100%. And then all of a sudden they got a phone call and they all ran out of the room. These people are crazy. We had a deal where we won everything. And they basically break the deals. You know, they make deals, and to them, deals are made to be broken.
Yeah, I mean, we have been saying that since day one, and now President Trump is saying that. You know, President Trump made an attempt to make a deal with these people many, many times, and we always said that, you know, these people. I mean, it's the same thing with these people. It's the same thing with Putin. They make a deal with you to buy time, and they break it. There's no point making deals with these people.
They are extremely unreliable people.
Then, and yet this is why there's no point even negotiating with these people, because anything you sign with them will definitely be violated.
Broken.
I wish Donald Trump had an Iranian advisor. I wish he had an Iranian advisor, just like anyone on the Iranian people's side. I think that would have done a lot more help even before this whole conflict kicked off, being like, hey, President Trump, these guys are fucking insane and they will never change. Please believe me. Marco tried. Marco's doing well.
Extremely unreliable people.
So did Lindsey Graham.
They are extremely unreliable people. And frankly, if they ever had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it within one day.
Amen. Can you or the American military or the Israeli military get to what's left of their third string and their fourth string and their fifth string? Do you know where they are? Can you kill them?
Yeah, I do. But we don't want to talk about that. But
okay.
We certainly are watching. Yep. I know a lot about that subject. I know a lot, but I don't think it's appropriate to talk about it right now. But we will be hitting them. Like, as an example, we're going to hit them very hard tonight. And we're going to hit them hard tomorrow. And there's not a damn thing they can do about it. They have nothing. They have nothing going other than they have big mouths.
Keep it up, Mr. President.
Very good that I did, because I got to know him.
The MOU buckled.
And it's a lot better. You know, people say I was at least reasonable, but I got to know them, and they're stone cold crazy people.
Yes, they are. Fanatics. Now, the MOU buckled, and I thought of that high rise on 42nd Street where the columns buckled. By the way, what did you think when you saw that story that high rise columns are buckling?
So I know a lot about buildings, more than structure.
Let's go
to it. On the side, it was the craziest thing. And, you know, that was probably a Urus building. And I knew the Urus building, but the good news is it'll never fall down. The bad news is U.S. that you go to a memorandum of understanding and then you go to the
there we go. We're back to Iran.
Sleaze bags.
That was a crazy change of direction of talk. So.
Look, memorandum of understanding. Down.
Well, was the MOU that your negotiators brought back, was that side saddle?
Wait, a little bit earlier, maybe?
This guy gave you a minimal structure to hold up that the building wasn't even balanced.
MOU that your negotiators brought back, was that side saddle MOU? Was that built to fall apart?
was built to test. It was a test. We didn't know. It didn't look memorandum.
Okay, so it was built to test. He said we didn't know if it will work or not. Okay, I mean, guys, don't mean to brag. If you asked us, we would tell you that it would not. It wouldn't. We knew from day one that it wouldn't. It was not going to work. The MOU, to us, it was obvious that the MOU would not work out. We know the Islamic Republic. We know that these people just sit on tables, they come to the negotiating tables and they just sign agreements to just buy time, and it's in their DNA to keep going for world domination. Like, the whole point is to destroy America, Israel. No amount of paper signing, deals, negotiations, MOUs, nothing is going to change the nature of the Islamic Republic. That's the ultimate purpose of the Islamic Republic. It's the revolution. It's an Islamic revolution against the Western world power. Okay, so the sooner that everybody realizes that, the sooner we're going to be able to focus on just destroying this tumorous cancer that has infected the entire world. So we knew it from day one. The Islamic Republic, even before the Islamic Republic came into power, that whole entire movement, the entire purpose of this movement is to bring down this global Western order. That's the entire purpose, and nothing is going to change that. It's in their DNA.
And to replace it with their own.
Built a test.
To replace it with their own.
It was a test. We didn't know. It didn't look. Memorandum of understanding when you're dealing with sleazebags don't mean much. And they don't mean much when you're dealing with honorable people, too, because it's a memorandum of understanding. It doesn't mean much. And I said, why are we even, it's a standard tactic in the U.S. that you go to a memorandum of understanding and then you go to the deal. I said, just go to the deal first. But you know what? It was sort of a test. And they weren't there. They didn't honor the test. We had it. We had this deal settled numerous times. I said, watch. I guarantee, watch. And they never followed it. Look, they're known for it.
I mean, President Trump did kind of signal that he was hopeful that they would honor it. I mean, I don't know if it was fake or not, but he did signal it.
Israeli journalists are saying that you've undercut Bibi. You've thrown him under the bus. Have you?
No, not at all. No, I get along with him very well.
Okay,
sometimes I disagree with him, and I let it be known, and I've been right. But no, I think he's good. Look, he's a wartime prime minister. He's done a good job. If I wasn't around, or if Bibi wasn't around, especially the combination, Israel would not exist today. We wouldn't have hit.
So this is much better than before. President Trump used to say that if I wasn't around, Israel would not exist. And I didn't like him saying that. But now this is better. He's saying if I wasn't around and he wasn't around, that combination wasn't around, then Israel wouldn't exist. This is better. This is better than saying that Israel exists because of me. Okay, this is better language.
Minister, he's done a good job. If I wasn't around, or if Bibi wasn't around, especially the combination, Israel would not exist today. We wouldn't have hit him with the B-2 bombers. They were going to have a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Had I not hit them with a nuclear, within 2 to 4 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. And once they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it. And you wouldn't even have Israel around. No, Bibi's good.
Is there anyone in Israel better than him to do the job? Is there anyone better than Bibi?
Well, I don't know most of them. I know some of them, obviously, but I don't know most of them. But I think that Bibi and I have had a very good. If we weren't working together,
why would you even ask that question? Why are you trying to turn? I'm glad President Trump didn't answer that, because you don't know who the next prime minister is going to be. I know he's fishing for compliments for Bibi, and I appreciate getting compliments for Bibi because he honestly deserves it. But U.S. policy should be that we are going to be friendly to any prime minister in Israel, and you shouldn't, for the sake of getting support for Bibi, you shouldn't turn U.S. president against other people within Israel that might be the next prime minister. So I'm glad that President Trump didn't answer that, because if he said that, we want the United States to maintain a good relationship with Israel, no matter who the prime minister is. So
he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I got this right. Remember, I was saying that they're going to engineer a time where Bibi Netanyahu and Donald Trump have a falling out. And then it's going to come out that that falling out didn't mean jack, and that they're back to being on the same page.
Yes. Yes, you know what? Every time we're getting close to military operations, President Trump starts getting friendlier with Bibi. And every time we're getting closer to de-escalation, there's some, you know, a little bit of tension between Bibi and President Trump.
Yes,
Fake or
because
real.
as you say, yeah, exactly. Because as you say, geopolitics works based on mutual interest, not because of what words are being thrown around.
Right. So yeah, so the mutual interest gets more when you're about to attack, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is a good. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Maybe this is a good sign that, you know, something big is about to happen. Maybe. Whatever, guys. We didn't forget your super chats. We'll get to them, but we just want to finish this one first.
Well, I don't know most of them. I know some of them, obviously, but I don't know most of them. But I think that Bibi and I have had a very good. If we weren't working together, if Bibi wasn't, if I had a weak person, a president or prime minister over in Israel, you know, you have a president there too.
Right.
If we had somebody weak over there, Israel would not exist today.
So Hamas is still standing. So is Hezbollah. Should Bibi order that those be done away with? Just finish the job in Gaza and in Lebanon?
Well, a lot of progress was made with Hamas, and they are disarming. That doesn't mean they're going to, but a lot of.
Well, actually, Hamas is not disarming. Hamas is coming out and saying that we're not going to be in government anymore, which is the opposite of disarming, because what they're actually saying is that we're going to stop cleaning the streets, we're going to stop, you know, providing government services, and we're going to focus only on terrorist activity. So this is the opposite of disarming. Yes.
Yeah, they're dissolving the government. That's all.
They're dissolving the government. They're like, Hamas is not the government of Gaza anymore. Like, oh, really? So you're dissolving? Yes. Like, so you're going to stop existing? Like, no, we're just going to focus on terrorism and only terrorism now. And we're not giving up our weapons. That's what's happening.
Guys, exactly. Exactly. They're dissolving their government. You want to know what that means? Besides what Armin's saying with continuing terrorism, it means we're not responsible anymore for what happens. We're not the governing force of Gaza.
Yes.
Whatever happens, happens. We're not responsible.
Yes.
Be done away with. Just finish the job in Gaza and in Lebanon.
Well, a lot of progress was made with Hamas, and they are disarming. That doesn't mean they're going to, but a lot of progress was made. And don't forget, I got all the hostages back, and Hamas did a lot of that work.
You know, President Trump does deserve a lot of credit for the hostages being released. A lot of Israelis were actually surprised that he actually managed to do that. That he deserves praise for that.
Don't forget, I got all the hostages back, and Hamas did a lot of that work. You know, people are amazed, but we had 28 dead people, you know.
Hamas did a lot of that work.
Children, because they call them children, the moms and dads, and it shouldn't amaze me, but the people that had a dead son and they knew the son was dead, they wanted that boy back just as much or even more as the people that were trying to get their sons out who were living. It was amazing. And we got
because it's a Jewish thing. It's a very Jewish thing that you want the bodies have to come back home.
More as the people that were trying to get their sons out who were living. It was amazing. And we got all 28 back, every single one of them. And everyone's amazed. And we got Hamas to do much of that work.
So
okay, let's not give credit to Hamas, please. Can we not give credit to Hamas, please?
I'm
not saying he's not giving credit to them. I think he's saying like we forced them to give them up. But I just think that the wording needs to be changed a little bit.
Yeah.
We got Hamas to do a lot of work. Like maybe the wording should be we forced Hamas, we forced them to give up the bodies and the hostages, not like we got them to do the work, because it might, I don't know. I don't like that language about Hamas.
And everyone's amazed. And we got Hamas to do much of that work.
So let me ask you about the Iranian people. You said help was on the way and you sent it. 40,000 of them got massacred before your help could get there.
I mean, the work that Hamas did was the killing and the taking of the hostages. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Help was on the way and you
bad
sent
language
it.
there.
40,000.
You got Hamas to do much of that work.
Let's see what he says.
So let me ask you about
He says no, they can't come out.
the Iranian people.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about the Iranian people. You said help was on the way and you sent it. 40,000 of them got massacred before your help could get there. Is it time for them to go back into the streets?
Well, you can't do that because they don't have guns and the other side has guns. And
Give them guns. Give them drones.
the number is 52,000 people killed so far.
Wow.
And these are thugs. It's very hard for people to go back. They can have great bravado. They can hate the regime. They can do everything. But when you start seeing people dropping a little bit left and right, you know, they have snipers. And the snipers are up in buildings, 4 or 5 of them. And let's say they form 100, 200,000 people. And they see one go down with a bullet between the eyes. And then they see another one go down with a bullet between the eyes. And then they see a third. Like with the women, they had 300,000 women. All of a sudden, 1 goes down, 2 goes down, 3, 4, 5. And you know what happens, They say, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
It's very scary. So
let me switch to domestic politics.
I would say this.
So the question here should be like, okay, if they can't do an uprising because they're not armed, how about we arm them? How about we do that? Guys, that's the most cost-effective way to topple the Islamic Republic. Why not just give them the weapons? Why not that? Why not go and talk to Princess of Pahlavi and come up with a plan to get the Iranian people the training and the tools to be able to free themselves?
I think people were wrong. I never thought, unless they could be completely armed, I never thought they'd have that kind of an uprising because these people are violent.
Yeah, so you tried to be fair, you tried to arm them, but you went on you did them with the wrong people. You did that with the separatists, and that's why it failed. I mean, we knew that would fail. You should have just talked to Princess of Pahlavi and his team, and you should have coordinated with them. Then that would have worked.
This, I think people.
Guys, honestly, I think if they had done that, if the Americans and Israelis, after the killing of Ali Khamenei, they were talking to Princess of Pahlavi and his team and coordinating with them to arm the Iranian people, I think if they had done that, but now the Islamic Republic would have been gone.
People were wrong. I never thought, unless they could be completely armed, I never thought they'd have that kind of an uprising because these people are violent. The so-called leadership is very violent.
They're killers.
They killed 52,000. How about the wrestler? You know, the wrestler is one of the best wrestlers in the world. They killed him and his 2 friends just because he spoke not even that badly about the regime.
They're crazy. Keep killing them because they're going to kill their people until you do. Domestic politics, Mr.
And they're going to keep killing Americans. Keep killing them because they're also going to keep killing Americans. Guys, the Islamic Republic is more than any other existing regime or government or state or whatever you want to call them, is responsible for killing Americans. So even if you're American, you're like, okay, well, that's not our problem that they're killing Iranians. Well, they kill Americans more than anyone else. They kill Americans more than anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kurds were a complete mistake. I need to see him. Sorry, yeah, the Kurdish separatists. I absolutely need to see him say more about the Iranian people. I like that he says 52,000, but is that all you're going to say? Is there any verbal?
He says more than anyone else.
That's completely true. Completely true. But for the big factor that the Iranian people are, I'm kind of wondering why for a while now he's only said that. Is he trying to keep something under wraps? Like, is there a plan for the Iranian people? Or is there not a plan? I'm trying to figure that out.
Him and his 2 friends, just because he spoke not even that badly about the regime.
They're crazy. Keep killing them because they're going to kill their people until you do. Domestic politics, Mr. President. You run, or at least the RNC.
Is this the last of the Iran part?
Listens to you very clearly. Do you think
when that loser from ABC did the two.
Now, if the Democrats win the House, they're going to impeach you. And I don't care what the argument is. They're just going to find a way to impeach you. You know, J.D. Vance could represent you, and he can be in the Senate doing the same thing. Have you thought about that? He's a good lawyer.
Well, I don't like to think about it too much because I think we're going to do well. In fact, a man just walked into my office, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's great.
Great speaker.
He's doing a great job. Don't forget, we have a majority of 2, 3. If we hit 4, we're like, we don't know what to do. We have so many. And we've gotten all this stuff done. We got the great, big, beautiful bill done. And, I'll tell you just a fast story. Yesterday, we had a lot of people. They're building a heliport because for years they should have had it built at the White House. They're landing in the mud.
Okay, so we don't need to listen to the rest of that. Okay, so that was that. What do you think?
His Ankara speech, where he was calling them cuckoos, and lunatics and all of that, was great because I think that was his lesser controlled emotional outburst against the regime. And this is a more controlled emotional sort of way. It's like a not even emotional way. I'm only going to take him seriously that he is going to hit them. But as for, is he going to hit them just enough to draw them back to the negotiating table or what?
So he has some other recent statements about Iran, President Trump. Here, let's go through these as well. So let me see. This ones we already did. Let me see. These ones we already did. But here the Iran ones here.
We're hitting them very hard. We've demolished their military. We're hitting them very hard. We had a deal yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was all done. And then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like. And they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up discontrolling the whole thing. And what they're doing is being very foolish, very stupid, and they've treated people horribly. They've killed 52,000 protesters so far that we can determine. It might be more than that, but 52,000 protesters have been killed, and it's really a terrible situation. But we'll have it under control very quickly.
So that was one statement, and then he made another statement. This one is not Iran. Here, this one.
There are reports about Iranian drones in Cuba. There are concerns about that. Where does the relationship with the U.S. stand there? Is military intervention still on the table there?
Well, if they do have that, and they might very well have that, we'll take care of it. Marco's just in the other room. And if they do have that, we'll take care of it in short order. We're not going to have a problem. We're not going to allow that to happen. So it could be that they're storing some. We're looking into it now. It could be so, and it maybe isn't. But we'll figure it out fast.
So let me actually get the context for this, right? So there are reports about Iranian drones in Cuba. And President Trump was saying if they do have that, and they might very well have that, we'll take care of it. Okay. That's a new update.
That's we actually knew that they do. There's actually IRGC. There's Iranian IRGC in Cuba. They actually have stations there. Yeah.
Interesting. And here's the last one.
They made a deal. They broke it. Probably 10 times. And they killed a lot of people. They killed our people.
So here's the thing: if they made a deal and they broke it 10 times, then why are we tolerating?
Exactly.
Why are we still talking to them? Yeah.
They made a deal. They broke it.
Over and over again.
Probably 10 times. And they killed a lot of people. They killed our people. But the protesters, what they've done to the protesters, 52,000. Have you ever seen any of the burial lots where they're burying the protesters? They killed 52,000 protesters. And on my watch, they can't do any of that. So we have them in a position that they don't have any military. There's not a thing they can do about it. All they have is fake news, because they have the fake news, would rather see us lose the war then win the war, which is really treasonous, in a certain way. So we're doing another very major attack tonight. They want to make a deal. They came back. We made a deal 2 days ago, and they want to make a deal. They've been negotiating for 47 years, but nobody's ever hit them militarily. We're hitting them very hard. They made a deal. They broke it.
So Feinstra's in the chat just said that we have new attacks.
Yeah, on multiple.
Oh my God, Marsha.
Multiple different locations. Yeah, so we have Boucher, we have so guys, the entire coast again. So the middle, right, and left, just the entirety of the coastline is being hit again. So the strikes have still not been over. Bahrain's getting hit as well.
Wow. So guys, these are still all southern. Yeah, siren sound in Bahrain.
Also, Saudi Arabia is launching attacks against Yemen.
Okay, so there's multiple wars happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, I know this is only the south, but it is much bigger than before. This could potentially be preparations for the Marines moving in.
Yeah, or an more extensive aerial campaign, because you want to get the missile, the anti-air defense missiles out of the way if you want to launch a more extensive air campaign.
Feinstars is saying, could they just shoot one further north? They did yesterday.
They did.
They did yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, you want to show you?
Yeah.
They struck all the way up over here in Arak. So there's a heavy water reactor, and Arak is pretty close. I mean, it's centralish northwest Iran. There's a heavy water reactor for like the nuclear. Yeah, they struck that. Desful as well. They struck Desful. That's more inland, but that was like more of an air base. So they're hitting all of the coastal stuff, but they're also hitting air stuff. You're hitting air stuff because you want to move in your planes. By the way, Armin, in Qatar, the Al Udeid base, which I think is like somewhere around here. Anyway, so the Al Udeid base, remember when we said that they removed the refueling tankers from Israel to Qatar? And we were thinking, I was like, is this because they're going to get ready for something? Or is it because they're calming things down? Or else why would you move things closer to the Islamic Republic if you didn't think it was going to calm down? Well, apparently now we found out it wasn't preparation. These are the refueling tankers that are taking off from Al Udeid that are refueling the jets committing the bombings on the IRGC right now. So it looks like that was preparation for these strikes. So logistically, this operation was planned 3 weeks ago.
Ooh.
Which means that if we're going by building on operation-wise logistics, these strikes that we're seeing along the southern coast and on the air bases are also preparation for something else. That's what I'm thinking.
We have some major updates from President Trump again. You want to see here? So apparently he's speaking as we're speaking, and every time there's a new Iran comment update, I'll show, because I don't want to show the whole thing. But every time he talks about Iran, we'll play that segment. So these are important. Watch this.
That Iran has agreed to a deal and then walked away from it. Have you reached the conclusion that a negotiated settlement won't be able to happen?
No, I never reached that conclusion, but we're hitting.
So he's still not giving up on negotiations, right?
Yeah,
so like given all of, so he's not giving up. He's still, after all of this, he's not giving up on getting to a settlement with negotiation.
You mentioned that Iran has agreed to a deal and then walked away from it. Have you reached the conclusion that a negotiated settlement won't be able to happen?
No, I never reached that conclusion, but we're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We're hitting them. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have a number.
So guys, here's the thing. I think I think until the very last moment, President Trump will still leave the door open to a settlement. Like, this is how President Trump is. He will always leave the door to a settlement. There will not be a settlement. There will not be a deal. But President Trump will always leave the door open. That's the guy. That's the type of person he is.
That we haven't had in years, and we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens. But we're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits. We're putting the blockade back, and it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. The blockade was probably more effective even than hitting them, but I think the combination is the thing that really does it.
But you think a deal is still possible? You think they'll return to that?
Yeah, I think a deal is possible. Sure, I do.
So
Then why'd you remove it? If it was more effective, why'd you remove it? Why did we give them incentives before they gave us before they carried out anything?
Let me defend it. Let me defend it. Okay, because it was effective against the Islamic Republic. However, we needed to flood the oil markets. We needed to flood the markets with oil, even if it was the Islamic Republic oil. We needed that. That's why.
True.
I'm just defending. Yeah.
No, I know. I've said that too. I totally understand. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's still leaving room for negotiation. Okay, guys. So even after the bombardments that we're seeing here, he still just said today, a couple hours ago, I'm still leaving room for negotiation, which means what? I'm going to bomb the Islamic Republic into submission just to the point where they think it's over. They think they're going to lose and it's all done, and I'm going to give them the impression that I'm going to go all the way and destroy them. But what I'm really looking for is for someone in the Islamic Republic to be able to come up and give us that either unconditional surrender or the nuclear.
There's more updates from President Trump. Do you want to hear?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So this is actually significant. Listen to this.
Mr. President, you noted the United States is bombing Iran again. I mean, you've been bombing Iran for months now. Is this just the new normal for the American people?
Well, we're in Vietnam for 19 years. We're here for 4 months. So I think we've done a lot. We've knocked out their Navy in a period of 1 month. We knocked out their Air Force. Their Air Force is non-existent. We knocked out most of their missiles, most of their drones. We knocked out their drone manufacturing capability, about 92%. Their missile capability for manufacturing, we knocked out 89%.
Mr. President, you noted the
So, Ali, remember I told you that one option that we need to consider is, Ukraine and Russia. How many years are they in war right now?
4.
Yeah. So when it started, people didn't assume that 4 years from now we're still going to be in the middle of it, right? This is what I'm saying. So that I'm not saying this will happen, but you have to be ready for that to be the case. That 4 years from now we're still doing this, but you have to be ready for 10 years from now we're still doing this.
It doesn't matter how long it takes. The Islamic Republic is going to fall. And none of us should stop putting pressure or fighting it.
So here's another update from President Trump. Here's another update. He wants to get paid.
Put it up. Yeah, I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping. For instance, you look at the 5 countries. You have Saudi Arabia, you have UAE, you have Qatar, or Qatar, as I always say. You have Qatar, Bahrain. Put it up. Yeah, I want to.
Do you think what's the likelihood of that happening? Being able to get those countries. I mean, if you're not going under the, You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, we refuse to go under the security umbrella of Israel. Okay, then if United States is going to protect you, you have to pay up. You can't just be leeching off of U.S. military by asking for pre-protection and also not going under Israel's military umbrella. You have to. You're so spoiled. You're a bunch of spoiled countries. Protect us for free. Well, we can't do that. How about you get friends with Israel? No, keep protecting us for free. Well, that's not how this is supposed to work. You guys have to pay up.
It seems to me like they've been comfortable doing it. They've had no penalties for playing both sides. Now they're starting to get some penalties for it. Frankly, it's probably not enough. I think they got to be put under some more pressure here. Apparently, apparently it's not enough. Apparently, it's not enough.
So you don't have a serious military. You don't accept Israel as the hegemon power of the region that you're forced to go under the security umbrella of, and you don't want to pay the United States for their security services. Well, then just get bombed. Just get bombed.
I mean, they're getting bombed, sure, but it's the U.S. bases in their countries that are get bombed. Their desalination plants, their citizens, nothing else is getting bombed. It's just the U.S. bases, and they're still complaining to this extent. I mean, the Arab countries have had it real good for a long time. Why would they want the status quo to change?
What they have to realize is that they had it good for a long time because the world used to need them more than they need them now. They still need them, but they used to need them more. So they got it so good because the whole world depended on their energy. Now there's other sources. Okay? Now there's other sources. You're not as important as you used to be. So you have to pay for this stuff.
Man, it always saddens me to see what our country became and to see what their country became. If we just go back 50 years, you go to any one of the Persian Gulf Arab countries, it's just sand. And you went to Iran 50 years ago, and it was the most progressive, it was the most advanced country in the Middle East. It had top 5 militaries in the world. The passport got you to any country. People in Europe would vacation in Iran, etc. And look at us 50 years later. I'm not exaggerating when I say when I was a kid and I would think about that after I understood all this, I'd always shed some tears about it. Like, why did that have to happen to us?
I'm not exaggerating. This is the history's largest missed opportunity. I mean, and this is not just me saying that this has been objectively analyzed by economists, and where the Iran could have been right now and where it is right now, the difference is in so many trillions of dollars. Is the greatest waste of opportunities and resources and wealth in history. Nothing ever comes close to it. Guys, I'm not exaggerating. The economists measure if the Islamic Revolution of 1979 had not happened, the size of the economy of Iran would have been, as big as Germany's right now. Right. So think about where.
More.
Well, I'm not. That's us Iranians bias speaking. I'm just talking about non-Iranian economists' objective analysis based on their estimate. I mean, Germany's economy is huge, right? So think about where would we be and compare it to now, and that's like trillions and trillions of dollars wasted.
Yeah, trillions. Oh yeah, dozens of trillions. I'm just thinking because if the Pahlavis stayed, they were the type of rulers to plan for decades in the future. If we're going by, the past 2 kings that we had, I think the Germany economy would be these objective analysts, I think, are playing it really safe, and didn't take into account that the Pahlavis planned for multiple decades in the future. They were ready to not see the fruits of their labor in their own lifetime. They were ready for it to happen 50 years down the line. That's no. I mean, I don't name one other country in this today's modern day that can do that. That has doing that and it successfully worked. I can't name one.
So look at this footage, by the way. Video sent. Okay, video sent to Iran International appears to show IRGC with Gulf class fast Persian Gulf class fast boats burning after a U.S. strike on Islamic Republic positions at Quiche port at a maritime police facility in the early hours of basically today. Yeah, look at this. This happened a few hours ago in Quiche. Quiche Island. I've been to Quiche. Ooh, look at that. Those are boats on fire. Boats on fire. Are those the speedboats?
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I've been to Quiche. Some of my best memories are in Quiche. Also, guys, look at this. The Islamic Republic is releasing videos trying to intimidate the Iranian people. To me, this suggests that they think an uprising might come soon. Look at this. Islamic Republic in Iran releases a video taunting the Iranian people. It shows an IRGC terrorist reloading a machine gun.
Oh yeah, be careful showing that. I saw that clip and it's just a big gun.
Okay, I'm not going to show it then. And it's not to
These are the mounted machine guns, guys.
I think we could show it. I'm going to risk it. And it's not to defend against Israel or USA, but the Iranian people. Okay, just see this. It's a machine gun. He's just loading. Yeah. He's just putting the bullets into a machine gun. Fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, but he's being like, look, guys, look, I'm loading these bullets into this truck-mounted machine gun that I've used to kill you guys before, the Iranian people. It's so disgusting.
Oh. So he's showing it. He's okay.
He's reloading it real slow, and he's making sure the camera gets it, and it's just meant to piss you off. I have an update. We have some local news in Sistan Balochistan. So, guys, this would be this part of Iran, southeast. In the city of Saravan, we have an IRGC site that was targeted. So, according to the local news here, 4 heavy explosions happened in various parts of Saravan County. 3 explosions happened right on top of the IRGC base directly, their headquarters, and then 1 explosion in Saravan Airport. So the terminal adjacent to one of the gas stations in the airport was hit, and then the military personnel's housing was hit. We also know that in the past couple of nights, that a lot of the IRGC officers are being targeted and taken out. And even Iranians are thinking that the casualties are being underreported, but the governors will come out and be like, yeah, we only had like 10 casualties. We only had like 12 casualties. And people are like, oh, you're definitely downplaying the numbers here. So it looks like the IRGC officers in charge of manning the airports and the aerial defenses, they're being specifically targeted. I think that's the and then Bushehr Airport again is being targeted. Yeah.
I have an update from earlier today. I did show it already in the earlier show, but I think it's important for you guys to see. Guys, this is a historical moment that many Americans are not paying attention to, but this is the America winning in such a major way, and Americans need to listen to this. Guys, Americans, you won in Iraq. You won in Iraq. This is the moment that you won. So a lot of Americans keep thinking that America lost here, lost there, lost over there, because they are thinking too short term. Like, for example, Americans won the Vietnam War. Okay? They just, if you zoom in to the short to just a few years, it looks like America lost Vietnam, but America won Vietnam because they pushed back communism, and Vietnam is now a prosperous capitalist country and an ally of United States. Long term it worked. Iraq also, people thought that United States lost in Iraq. The fall of Saddam, the 10 years of chaos, they thought that was a loss. It's only a loss if you zoom into just a few years. You didn't lose in Iraq. You won, and today was the day that you won. This is the Iraqi prime minister. So it just took longer than many people have patience for, but eventually you won. This is the new prime minister of Iraq, Ali al-Zaidi, and he's a major U.S. ally right now, and he's giving Americans everything they want and going after the Islamic Republic's proxies in Iraq. If this works, if they don't assassinate this man, this is an absolute win for United States, completely taking away Iraq from the Islamic Republic and bringing it to U.S. sphere. So, and President Trump deserves a lot of credit for this. You guys see, like sometimes I criticize President Trump, sometimes I praise him. This is one area that he absolutely deserves so much praise for, and most Americans don't know about this. Most Americans know about, like, oh, Saddam's, that was a mistake, we shouldn't have gone to Iraq, but then they don't follow the story until this moment. This video that I'm about to play you is him coming to the United States. And before coming to the United States, he prepared everything for President Trump. And President Trump made sure, you guys, again, this is the part that people don't pay attention to in the United States. President Trump stopped Nouri al-Maliki from becoming prime minister of Iraq. If there were other presidents in United States right now, the prime minister of Iraq would be Nouri al-Maliki. And then if he was the prime minister, Iraq would have fallen completely into the sphere of influence of the Islamic Republic. But Trump came out, stopped that, and Ali al-Zaidi is now prime minister instead. And it went completely the other way around, and Iraq is now completely within the sphere of influence of the United States and an ally, actually, because this guy is giving Trump everything, going after everything Islamic Republic related. You guys saw all the offices they raided, all the money that they got, the golden bikini for some goddamn reason, and everything that they found in these offices, all the corrupted officials and the supporters of Hashd al-Shabi and other militias, Shia militias of the Islamic Republic in Iraq. And after he did all of that, today he came to Washington, D.C., and this was the beginning of it. This was the day. This is him and the envoy. These are all the people that they're going with him to Washington, D.C. So watch this. And then here he is getting off the plane in Washington, D.C. He's 40. He's young. He's 41. Wow. Look at this. This is a win. When you want to read the story of United States, make sure you read it until the final chapter. Only the people who read all the way into the middle and then they stop think United States is losing. If you read it all the way through, every single book, every single mission that United States has been on, it ends in victory for the United States.
You know what's great about the Iraq thing? We reported first months ago.
Yes.
Months ago, we covered everything that was happening from the previous prime minister being denied and losing support from the United States, to al-Zaidi coming into power, to him going after the militias and all of that. And he's done a good job navigating this political death trap that was thrown his way, being caught between the IRGC and the US. He's done really well, and he's coming to the US to show Donald Trump that he's done something already. He's like, I did all this, let me show it to you, and we can keep going this direction. So this is great. For example, remember when we covered a few weeks ago when they rolled tanks into Baghdad? That was a planned operation that none of those corrupt politicians knew about. It is so hard to keep an operation on that scale quiet when everyone around you is corrupt. He's done a great job. They've also shot and killed PMF and Kataib Hezbollah, which are the two IRGC proxies, and arrested them. Never has that been done before. And what did the proxies do? Usually they would have been like, oh, that's it, we're destroying the Iraqi government, we're taking over. They didn't do anything. They had some skirmishes in the streets here and there, and that's about it. They don't have any, they know that they don't have any support from the IRGC because the IRGC is barely holding on themselves. Along those lines, Armin, the Iraqi proxies, right, they're a mess. Hezbollah in Lebanon's a mess. The Houthis just got, by the way, the Houthis are being attacked by Saudi. That's actually with the blessing of Donald Trump, believe it or not. Yes, I said that right. Mohammed bin Salman called the leader of Saudi Arabia, called Donald Trump, and got approval for him. They attacked the Houthis. So all the proxies of the IRGC are being taken over at the direction of the United States and Israel.
Okay, I see. So Texas Troop, I saw you wanted these two videos and I sent it to your Telegram. And I see other people in the chat are also asking for these two videos. So I'm going to put it in the chat. Oh, wait. I should have put it in both chats. I'll do it again.
That was a good find, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Good summary, too, by you.
You both did.
Yeah. There we go. Putting it in the chat for you guys.
So
okay,
we have some super chats here, with the first one being from Rad, saying, for an anti-IRGC militant force to grow the ballistic missiles, for an anti-IRGC militant force, like the Iranian people getting armed, for us to grow stronger, the ballistic missiles will need to be destroyed. Otherwise, any massing of troops will be met with missiles. The drones are actually more of a threat than the missiles are here. Yeah, because you can shoot down a lot of projectiles, but like they can't shoot like 100 ballistic missiles at once. They can shoot 100 drones at once. It's a bad idea. It's a bad thing.
Wait. Oh my god. Okay, so the way you read it first, Steve is saying grow missiles. You watered it.
Not my words.
No. No, it's just sometimes the comments crack me up. You guys are so funny. Like, I don't know. I'm easily amused. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If there's any anti-IRGC militant force, in my opinion, the best way to do that is if you're creating a base in southern Iran to grow that army. Oh my god, we need to go. We need to also. This is why I think just get the tankers filled with oils already, sell it in the market, give it to the Americans, and like, here's the payment, provides air support. And basically, that would be the cost of the U.S. military to go in, and any launchers coming out to attack the Iranian people, to basically bomb the city where the Iranian people have their base, those launchers will be taken out by American Air Force, and it would not like we would not just ask for that for that. We would not be like, hey, Americans, come save us. Like, no, we'll pay. We will we will pay for air support. Okay, like get the oil tankers, give it to the Iranian people because it belongs to them, and we will sell it and we will pay the Americans. We will not be like these other countries, like, hey, God, save us for free. We'll pay for it. That's what I think would be the most ideal plan.
Yeah, that should be the way.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for both.
It's a win-win for both. Yes, exactly. And yeah,
thank you, Rad. And Yo says, I will never stop baking cookies. Cookies for life. I actually love chocolate chip cookies. They're my favorite.
Oh.
Thank you, Leo.
Wait. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you. Wait. No. Yeah. Go back to Leo. Leo, we were looking for you. We were looking for your baking skills. People were asking for cookies. Thank you for being back.
That's true.
Guys, Leo is our official baker of the channel.
True. Thank you for the super chat. And on the far side of says, are the Iranian people uprising? And thank you from Cincinnati. Right now, no. Will they soon? Depends on your definition of soon. They will. They will. Right now, what we're seeing are 2 or 3 types of protests in Iran. One are the people who have lost their jobs and are generally suffering from the economic. Those protests are happening over the past couple of days in Tehran and in a couple other cities. Then we have the student protests. And those have been going on for a while, a few weeks now. Then we also have the retirees who have to live on government paychecks for their, their retirements. And those guys are getting screwed over so bad. So they're also protesting. These guys are potential sparks for another uprising. All of them.
So to be clear to everybody, we say protest and then uprising. So protest, I mean, the uprising is a protest as well, but we use the language uprising when the protests eventually become a spark to a mass uprising in Iran. So right now we do have protests. Right now, as we're speaking, today at least we had protests, right? But the protests are not an uprising until become much bigger in size.
Exactly.
And then thank you for the super chat. And then I also wanted to say, I think now I understand. Just let me know if I'm understanding this correctly, because Amber, she asked me for the 2 videos that I played to show to her husband, if I'm not wrong, but if I understand this correctly. And Texas Troop also wanted the videos. She's saying my husband had to go into both. They're talking about the war, right? Against the Iraq war against Saddam. And for so many years, now I understand why you guys are appreciating this. This is so wholesome and meaningful, Now I understand why you guys are appreciating these 2 videos that I showed you guys. Yes, you're saying yes in the chat. Is because I think many American soldiers and their families were told that they wasted their time, that they were there fighting for the wrong cause, that it didn't achieve anything, that they were sacrificing and risking their lives and fighting for an unjust cause, for other people's ambitions, for something that shouldn't have been done, for something that eventually ended in a defeat, right? And I think many people, many families of soldiers and many soldiers themselves felt like they were lied to, and they went there to fight for nothing, for something that shouldn't have been done. And I think that the reason why these women in the chat want these videos to show to their husbands, because their husbands were serving, and they want to show them that they did. This is the result. This is the result of what they did. See, like she's Amber saying yes. Yes, they were told that it's all for a lie, but now you see, the result. See, 100%. I mean, and now they see that no, there was It wasn't for nothing. It wasn't for nothing. America won. America won. America always wins at the end. You just have to zoom out and look at everything in the long term.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the thing for the link? Some people are saying it's the link didn't work.
Wait, let me send it to you separately. One. Okay, so here's one and the link, and here's the second one. Go check it out. Let me know if it works now. So you got a big super chat, Ali. You want to read that one?
Yeah. Steve Dixon is saying, please use this to send Ali to visit Armin's barber. I don't know. I kind of like my hair like this, though. Maybe it's a little too much, but
it fits you.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
It's good.
I've tried really short hair, and I don't think it suits me. Steve, what should I get? What haircut should I get? What's your opinion? We wait for him to say that. But yeah, look, it actually turned out that a lot of people. Yeah, thank you, Steve. Turned out a lot of people in the chat. A lot of people in the chat were like, "Yeah, my husband served there." A lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
Guys, what hairstyle should I get? Should I get a mohawk? Just a strip down here, everything else bald? Or should I should I just shave this part and leave everything else? I don't know. You know, Armin, what I felt recently about facial hair has been really interesting. So you know how a lot of the people in the pro Pahlavi camp, or just general anti-Islamic Republic camp, hate facial hair? Like they always go like clean shaven, like Prince Reza Pahlavi, Murad Baisi, like all those types. Like everyone, Saifa Saint Ninja, everyone. No one has facial hair. Everyone shaves.
I don't think they hate facial hair because they know ancient Iranians had big beards like this.
Yeah. Right. I think they just have a distaste for themselves growing facial hair.
Yes.
So I don't know. I've come to understand more why they have a distaste for facial hair. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Steve is saying, thank you for the super chat. Steve is saying, same very conservative Shah style La Rosie haircut. La Rosie haircut like Armin. Okay, La Rosie haircut. Wait, I'm getting women's hair. Hold up. I'm trying to find out what this like.
I'm actually gonna get a haircut soon. This is not my ideal. I like low fade and short. Low fade and short. Guys, how I choose my hairstyle? Do you know what do I care about the most when I pick my hairstyle? Anybody knows?
No.
Ali, what do you think is my highest priority when it comes to picking my hairstyle?
Oh, convenience.
Yeah, least amount of maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, least time consuming.
Yeah, you're right.
Easy to
wait. Yeah, I've grown my hair out actually much longer than this before. And the amount of time, I don't know how women do this. I don't know how you guys do this, guys. The longer your hair gets, the time for it to dry is exponential. And all of that. It's so much work. I don't know how you guys do it. If I could, I would just be bald. But I think I would look terrible bald.
No, bald is not good because it gets sunburn. Also, your wife will divorce you.
Yeah, they probably would. If I had one, she would divorce me.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have an update for you guys in just a second. And then, so Steve was clarifying, La Rosie is the school Mohammad Reza Shah attended in Switzerland. Oh, okay. La Rosie School, Switzerland. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Hair requirement. If they have that. I mean, it's just clean and well groomed. Guys, we're pulling up the codes of Mohammad Reza Shah's school. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Guys, they have a whole 20-page, 19-page PDF file. And look at this. Look what's literally one of the first things, relationships between Rosians. So, wow, boarding school in Switzerland, they're making sure, people are, I'm assuming this would be probably what, dress code? Probably something like that. Let's see. Hair. Find me hair. Hair should be clean and well groomed. No dyeing of the hair. You can't have it cover the face. Okay, that's all. That's all we got on hair. Yep. Wow, you can't even have a gaming console or a gaming computer in your room. Interesting.
Wow.
Boys should not wear hairbands, hair clutches, or pins. Faces are clean shaven. All right, Steve. All right.
We got another super chat, and then after that, I need to go. So let's read that.
Okay. And thanks, Steve. Again, appreciate you. And Fizz Andrews is saying hugs to Miss Hypnotic, who lost her husband in Gulf War of.
No,
what's
the global war. The global
war of terror.
Of terror. Yes.
I see.
No, global war on terrorism.
On terror.
And
yeah,
and
thank you, Miss Hypnotic.
Sorry for your loss, and yes, hugs, and we appreciate the service of your husband. Wish we could thank him right now.
May he rest in peace. And thank you, Physiologist, for pointing that out. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
We all appreciate his service.
Thank you. It's not just Americans that owe. You.
Oh no! Yeah, it's everyone.
The servicemen. It's everyone. The whole world owes you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Ruheshad, says Sarah. Yep, Ruheshad.
Yadish Gerami. Yadish Gerami.
Yeah. In Farsi, we say like, may his soul be happy. And Murtaza is saying, I love shave the sunnah of Muhammad. Did I just say something bad? I feel like I just said something I wasn't supposed to say.
I don't know. Okay, no, they fixed it. He fixed it here. I love to shave the sunnah. What? I love to.
What is the sunnah?
Sunnah is the way of the prophet. Is the prophet's way of life. Is the source of Islamic teachings. I like to shave
what in the world?
The sunnah. I love to shave the sunnah of Muhammad. Okay.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess you're free to do that. I think.
Sure. I think what he wants is like a beard in the style of Muhammad. If you want a beard in the style of Muhammad, you have to actually color it red, the bottom part. Muslim.
Ew, what?
You guys know? So the Sunnah of Muhammad is basically means that the way Muhammad lived and copying everything Muhammad did, right? So Sunnah. So Islam has two sources of teachings: the Quran and the Sunnah. The Quran is obviously revelation from God. The Sunnah is the way what Muhammad said and what Muhammad did, and you have to emulate that, right? So I think Murtaza wants a beard in a way that Muhammad had it, so to follow the Sunnah, right? And that means that this is what it means. You actually have to you have to basically not have a mustache. You have to have a beard. And if you really want to follow the way of Muhammad, you have to actually color it red. So like this. Hold on.
Why red? Was he a ginger?
No, he painted it to look better. Like this. You have to color it, the bottom part. Yeah, you have to color it red. Well, some of these are ginger, but you actually have to color it red. Like these people are actually coloring it.
Hey, whatever you want. Whatever you want, I guess.
So like that.
That looks horrific. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Sarah's right. It makes you look like an orangutan.
Hey, they
those
actually
monkeys?
orangutans look. Yeah, but they look good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to insult them.
Yes.
And then Mortaza was saying, I hate the beard. That's why I want to shave.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, you know, now every time you guys are thinking of that type of beard, you see orangutans. So, yep.
Hey, stop insulting orangutan.
Why red? I don't know. Anyway.
Last super chat.
No, I actually can't wait for my hair to go white so I can like keep the sides white like a bit and then have the top black. Like I want to do that. Anyway,
okay.
That was completely unrelated. I don't know. Steve, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. It says it's pronounced Le Rose.
Rose.
I love that Ali knows nothing about Islam. He is the future of Iran. I know just enough to know that I don't want to know more. I know the important parts, but that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're right. It's so by choice, Steve. It's completely by choice.
That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that is the future of Iran. Hopefully, we learn about Islam so that the future of Iran doesn't have to.
Yeah. And then we'll teach them, though. We'll teach them exactly what Islam is. Like, we'll teach them the actual callings of what Islam wants you to do, like about killing people, about how they treat women, all of the different things. We'll give them the truth, and they can judge for themselves. But we also want that atmosphere of like, hey, man, it's not cool to be Muslim. It's cool to be Iranian.
Oh, look at this. Steve went and gave you super chats on your channel, and then he came over on my channel and gave super chats there just to cover both. That's so nice. Thank you, Steve. That's very sweet.
Very kind of you.
Thank you.
That's very kind. Thank you.
That's very sweet.
Guys, I have a question before Armin has to go. Actually, wait, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, Sarah is not letting me go. And she also is not achieving her goal because she gave a super chat saying, I insist on having the last super chat. Javid Shah to you too as well, Sarah. But you're not the last super chat because then Murtaza also gave another super chat saying, I hate the beard because it's the sunnah. Oh, LOL, the confusion. Oh, okay. You hate beard. Well, okay, here's the thing. You can love the beard because the beard in the sunnah is a specific type of beard, which looks, you have to keep your beard unkept. Did you know that? Like the beard, like a lot of Muslims think that they're doing the beard, they leave a beard because they think it's sunnah, right? But the beard has to be unkept for it to be sunnah, like to be followed. Like it has to go all over the place. So let me see if I could find. Wow.
Do you guys know how much bacteria and dead skin gets lost in people's beards for it to be unkept like that as well? Like, holy moly. You know those guys when you're like a young teenager as a guy and you're like, oh man, I can't grow facial hair, dude. It just itches all the time. Yeah, it's because you have bacteria and dead skin building up on your face. You need to wash your face more. I can't even imagine what these guys have.
Well, I mean, I think you can wash it, but it has to go all over the place. Like it has to be messy.
It's so gross. I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. It's just so bad.
I'm trying to find one. Yeah. So the more Islamic you get, the more you follow these things. And you, so for example, you're not supposed to comb it. Like it has to be. Yeah, I'll find the picture next time.
Oh, so you're saying
anyway.
you can judge someone based on how Durka they are by looking at them. So you can profile them, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you, Martaza. And Uncle Coping said, Aya toilet kotlet equals Allahu coping. Hey, man, this would be a great day for Jew Hater to be in the chat.
Ooh.
But
He
unfortunately,
knows
he's
that.
not
That's
here.
why he's not here.
That's why. Maybe he's watching. You know, we don't know if he's watching.
Oh.
But thank you so much, Uncle Coping. I completely agree. Mortaza, also another super chat about the beard, saying, because they hate the worldly, clean-shaven look. I mean,
Yes.
why do they want to look ugly?
Well, they don't think it's ugly. That's the point. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I get
They
that.
don't.
Beauty's in the
Yeah,
eye of the
I don't
beholder.
know. No, it's not.
Disgusting.
That's a lie, by the way. Yes.
Okay, so quick update and then quick question for you guys. We're going to leave, but there are extensive ballistic missiles that are being launched from the Islamic Republic. Looks like from Kermanshah, Tabriz, Shiraz. Yeah, those are the locations. Sirens are sounding at the American embassy in Baghdad. And it generally looks like Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar are going to get hit tonight, just like they did last night. So the American bases in those countries are still on fire, actually, but it doesn't look like any casualties have been taken, which is a red line for Donald Trump. With that, question for you guys. If you have any feedback for our stream, like any constructive criticism, please put it in the chat. I'm going to hang around after the stream ends and kind of read it so you guys can keep on typing it. But, you know, we got to get Armin to the rest of his day here. He does have to go and still work. He streams for like 10 hours a day. Then he ends the streaming. Then he does all the stuff behind the scenes and keeps on working. So just to respect his time there.
Or you could leave a comment, which helps with the after the stream is over.
Yeah,
you could leave a comment
or a
on the
comment.
video.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. All right, guys. Okay. Anything else? We could go.
That's it. All
right, guys. We're gonna go, and we'll see you guys same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainian. Cuba Libre. Long live America.
Javid
Shah.
Shah.
Hayende. Iran. Mwah.